All right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are back for another match of the Rugby World Cup 2023 competition. This will be Samoa's first game in the comp up against Chile, who did play last week up against the Japanese. They were able to get themselves the first try in that contest. Then from there, they did end up falling a little bit behind. But looking through at the way that the table sits currently for these two sides, Japan at the top of the punch or at the top of the bunch in Pool D, England in second, Chile yet to get themselves a point, sitting with a minus 30 points differential, and Samoa, as you can see, they have not played a game. They'll be looking to have a good performance here up against the Chileans. Looking through at the starting lineup for the Samoans, it is James Lay, Sailala Lamb, and Michael Alalatoa as the front row. He is also going to be captain for this game. Chris Vui and Theo McFarlane, the lock, something that Samoa have done a lot recently, whether that is the Pacific Nations Cup or the warm-up game up against the Irish. Taleni Sue is at number 6, Fritz Lee at number 7, and then Stephen Luatua, dangerous. Stephen Luatua at number 8. He'll be looking forward to going head-to-head here with Chile. Perhaps Samoa can get a few line breaks. That man could be involved in a couple of them. Jonathan Tamatena and Christian Liliafano going to be the 19 combination, so that means that Lima Sopawanga will instead be coming off the bench. Tamua Manu in the midfield alongside Olapano Junior Saltini. Then out on the wing, Nigel Awong. Danny Tuala out on the other. Normally they do go with the Awong and Ed Fidel combo. Instead, Fidel will come off the bench, and Duncan Paiaua, the man who can play in the midfield, is opting to play at fullback for this game. In the chat we have got there, come on Samoa for the big win. Says Chris there, Chile wins. Says Jay. And the chat we've also got Robert, Nice Cartel. The chat. But yeah, I hope you guys are all excited. We've got 3 games back-to-back today in the world of rugby, and then also 3 back-to-back tomorrow as well. So there's plenty more action to take place of this round in the Rugby World Cup. But Chile made a few changes compared to what they did go with in the last game. Carrasco at number 1, Desiliant at number 2, and Ditas, he keeps his spot on the starting side. Did end up getting a yellow card in the last week's game, so we'll want to make sure that he is well disciplined for this game. Huete at number 4, he comes into the side, and Santiago Pedrero at number 5, Segrin at 6, the captain, Saavedra at number 7, and Martinez, dangerous man, at number 8. Him versus Luatua, I think could be a little bit of an underrated battle. It goes on out on the field. Torrealba, he is an absolute superstar. Anyone who hasn't heard that man's name, you watch that game up against Japan for the Chileans, he was absolutely everywhere. He's a phenomenal talent, and I hope he gets signed to a big team in the near future. Number 10, they have gone with Rodrigo Fernandez, the man who scored the first ever try for Chile at a Rugby World Cup. Garafulik in the midfield alongside Saavedra, the brother of the number 7. Larenas out on the left wing, Videla out on the right, and Ayaza at number 15. He was very busy in the game up against Japan. If he doesn't have to work as hard in this game, it will certainly be a bonus. Looking once again through at the chat, we've already got quite a few people popping in, so it is hugely appreciated all you being here. Did you see the Wires? I did see that they got the victory. I didn't get to watch that game because I was asleep at that stage. I'm doing a Northern Hemisphere time zone at the moment. My brain's all over the place in terms of my sleep schedule. But yeah, I did see that the Wires got themselves a win. So now moving on to the next stage. I hope Tonga give Ireland a run for their money, says Chris Seo. I know it's a long shot, but come on, Chile, says Richard. I mean, yeah, with the way that they played in last week's game, I would say, yes, they are coming in as heavy underdogs. And we've got all the betting odds and everything that will be popping up very soon. But, like, they're not out of this contest yet, I would say, because first ever Rugby World Cup, they put in a good showing in their first game. You wouldn't think it was their first time on the big stage. Yeah, I'm curious to see how it goes. What hours do you sleep? Or did you sleep, says Jack? So I sleep between about 5 and 12 was my sleeping before, so that is why my hair looks absolutely shocking. I think I was headbutting my pillow or something because it just wouldn't sit down, so I might have to fix that. In between streams, it's a marathon, says Robert. Go the Manu, says West Side. And also we've got there finally on early Let's Go, says Caitlin. Yeah, only a 2:45 p.m. kickoff for you guys in South Africa now. We have got there, I wonder if the worm body count will exceed 1,000. The worm body count. Who is the worm? Like the dance move? I tried a worm once, like doing the dance move, and I just head butted the ground, similar to what I did to my pillow. We have got there. Good morning. It's cold here, says Mo. Welcome in, mate. Hope you're doing very well. And also, we've got there the Kieran emoji from JB. Big love, everyone. Rugby Christmas continues. Yeah, every weekend, 8 games. Gotta absolutely love it. We're going to see 2 Pacific Island sides in action. So the Pacific Nations Cup almost coming back to us one more time. I imagine it's called down in France. Yeah, we are sitting, I think it's about 22 or 23 degrees Celsius for this game, but a lot nicer than they did have last week. And we actually saw that game yesterday with the All Blacks in Namibia. It was absolutely bucketing down with rain, which I don't think is what they were anticipating. There's been no there'd be no orangutans throwing possums out of the nest like at Path Zoo this week during this match. Says Kiwi Gamer. Actually went to the zoo for a school trip, and I saw a turtle getting hit with a stick by a monkey. That's a true story. I have a picture that I took. You can't really tell because it was taken on a Nintendo DS. Did anyone have one of those? They were good back in the day. Looking through at the betting odds for this game, as you can see, on this side are the sides that are expected to win. On this other side are the teams that are expected to win. At the moment, Portugal are the team out of the 3 that they think are the most likely to pull off a victory. Now, I would almost argue that Chile probably have a decent shot of being the favourite in terms of more likeliness of beating Samoa than Portugal have to beat Wales. But I feel like Samoa definitely still heavy favourites. The way that they played throughout that rugby Pacific Nations, that Pacific Nations Cup, I think they'll have. Oh no, it's 28 degrees. It's actually a bit warmer. The sun's out, guns out, as they say. And of course, I'm talking about muscles. Nothing else in that regard. Looking through at Samoa's previous results, 24 points to 22 win over Japan. That was a brilliant way to start their Pacific Nations Cup. They did have a loss to Fiji by 14 points. They then were able to keep Tonga from scoring any tries. And alongside that, they actually kept the Barbarians to the lowest score a Barbarian side has got since about 2017, I believe was the stat that I saw. And then this was a close game. Ireland versus Samoa, almost for Manu Samoa to get themselves a massive win over the Irish, but just narrowly missing out in the final moments. In Ireland, they were able to hang on. Looking through at what we have seen from Chile recently, they did have their game up against Uruguay, in which they did lose 26 points to 25. They were pushing Namibia as well as the Argentina XV, and that is something we've seen from Chile. A few close games against the sides around that same ranking. Their Rugby World Cup game up against Chile, though, they did start it well. Torrealba, Fernandez, all those boys were doing very nicely. It was just as the match progressed and the heat started to wear on the body, they weren't quite able to keep up. We also saw 2 tries from Amato Fukava in that game for Japan. He was one of 7 players in round number 1 to get themselves the double. Looking back at the chat, Worms killed Judas. Oh, rugby sprigs. The terrible things, says Martin Smith. And what time's the kickoff? It is kicking off in 12 minutes' time. So we are not too far away from the start of this game. Can the South Americans slip some chili on Samoa's banana skins? Says Richard. And also we have the sup. There's Amelia, welcome in. You are doing extremely well. And hi, Amish, says Charm, welcome in as well. Seems like quite a few people for this match from what I have seen. I think it's just getting to see that physicality of the Samoans going up against the heart of the Chileans. It'll be an absolutely awesome chess match that takes place. And we have got the enjoy the stream, Amish, says Yarnley, thank you very much. And also we have got the Samoan flags from Spelling Dirk. Fiji Wales, best game of the World Cup so far, says Jack. Yeah, it was certainly the game that was not just talked about the most in round number 1, but I would say the closest and also the most entertaining game that did take place. Although I have a little bit of a theory, and I believe that Australia versus Fiji tomorrow night is going to be able to top that. We'll have to wait and see whether or not that is the case. That Namibia versus New Zealand game was like a Milton first XV versus the 4th. Says Mo, I've heard people complaining about that game, and I don't really know why. Because when Ireland beat Romania by 76 points or whatever it was, or 74 points, sorry, everyone went, it's just because of the rankings, it's because there's a high side versus a low side. Then when New Zealand did it to Namibia, everyone's saying that they need to adjust the Rugby World Cup, that there are problems that are arising, that it shouldn't have happened. And yeah, it's just weird that because it's the All Blacks playing, people are complaining, whereas when Ireland did it to the Romanians, everyone was like, it's all good. It happens. That's the World Cup. That's the beauty of the World Cup. Some games are close, some games aren't so close. But still need to give Namibia credit. They still dug in deep at times throughout that game, almost managed to score themselves a try at moments as well. And also, we get the hi Hamish, hope your voice holds out for the entire World Cup commentary games. You are providing great service to many rugby supporters. Thank you from Durban, South Africa. There's Brian, no worries at all. And we have got plenty more coming on the channel. 3 games tonight, 3 games tomorrow night as well. Going to be a very exciting one. Looking forward to the game in your commentary, says Akaris. Thank you very much. And I like it when Hamish come on early. I learned a thing, says Robert. So, yeah, I think this is the second earliest that we are starting a live stream. I think we're 10 minutes before Wales versus Portugal. Just give me a little bit of time in between, grab a snack, and then alongside that, we have got 30 minutes before Ireland versus Tonga, as we are going to be summarising what has happened throughout this Rugby World Cup so far. But these are the benches for the two sides. Samoa Maloro at number 16, Jordan Lay and Paul Alo Amili as the 18, Samuel Slade and Jordan Taufua, the other two replacements, Eritara Eneri, Lima Sopawonga, and Ed Fidel. So a pretty strong bench for the Samoans in this game. Whereas for the Chileans, they've got a few of the men who did start in the last match. 2 Escobar brothers. Diego Escobar, he did start at number 2 for the last game. Videla at number 22 and Casas at number 23. 2 other players to watch out for as this game wears on and the players start to fatigue. But these are the games that we have got happening this round. I mentioned we got 3 back-to-back today. First game, Samoa, Chile. Second game will be Wales versus Portugal. And then Ireland versus Tonga to close out this day of rugby. Then South Africa play Romania. Australia play Fiji. And England play Japan for the last game of round 2. We have already had the Pool A fixtures. As you can see up there, New Zealand winning 71 points to 3, 27 points to 12 in favour of Le Bleu. Now we are only around 8 minutes away from the kickoff. That Ireland-Romania was Milton High versus Milton Junior. Says Mo there. And also we have got what time does it start? Australian time. Manu Samoa will smoke him. Says Tahana. So it does start in 8 minutes time. Adroit commentary, a compliment, skillful, nimble, adept, accomplished and entertaining. Says it was there from Akaris. You did notice that I skipped that word, didn't you? Because I was like, I'm not sure what that means. I assumed it was good, but I wasn't sure exactly what it was. Have any of the act posters been drawn on in your town? Says Kiwi Gamer. I don't leave the house. That was your first mistake. Sup, Hamish, looking forward to the game, says Philippines. It's going to be a good one. I'm hoping it's a fast-paced game between the two sides. 27 degrees means that they might be a little bit tired by the time we get to halfway. There should still be some very entertaining moments throughout the game. Looking through at what is happening next week as well, though, for anyone who doesn't know, Italy versus Uruguay. That is a Thursday morning kickoff in New Zealand. That sounds like a pretty rough one. But yeah, it's always nice having a midnight or a early morning game if it's like 7 a.m. But 3:45, bit of a rough one. France versus Namibia also taking place at 7 a.m. New Zealand time. Then there is 3:45 on Saturday. And then I believe we get daylight savings in New Zealand, which is why some of these games that would normally be at 7 a.m., for example, South Africa Ireland is now at 8 a.m. New Zealand time. Portugal versus Georgia, that starts at midnight. That would normally be a 11 or a 1. I'm not too sure. That would actually normally be an 11, I believe. So we've got a few weird time zones coming up. But every game of the Rugby World Cup, we will be live on the channel, ladies and gentlemen. So be sure to hit that subscribe button for the Samoans. They are only just starting their Rugby World Cup 2023 journey. They have got their matchup against Argentina next week, Japan the week after. And they've got England. That is actually going to be a little bit of a strange one because they've got quite a large gap between the two games, about 9 days, which is almost unheard of throughout this Rugby World Cup. And then they have got, because they already had the rest week, that would be the quarterfinals if they do make it that far straight. After that game for Chile, they have got themselves the game up against England next week, Argentina the week after, and then they have got the rest for after that. But they're just read online, Skelton is out against Fiji. That is a massive blow if that is the case for Will Skelton not being there. Do you really not leave the house, says Jack? Not completely. Like, I go out and whatnot if I'm going, like, to the shops or anything like that, or if I'm going to the golf course. But over the last little while, because I've been accustoming or kind of changing my sleep schedule so that it is going to be a Northern Hemisphere one, it means that the only time that I'm up really is during the night. And if I go out during the night, it's dark, you can't see anything, the shops are all closed. So like it's only really early morning between maybe about 8 and 10 a.m. That's my window of being able to go out and do things throughout this Rugby World Cup. We have got Will Camel Toa get a red card again, says Gareth. I hope not. I feel like from what we saw from Ethan de Groot, you got to make sure you're tackling just that little bit lower for us non-early birds. That AMN or 8 a.m. start helps, says Martin. And we have got there. I was thinking of writing a play. The All Blacks failed to qualify for the World Cup quarters due to a big night out partying for the pool match versus Namibia. Namibia beat the UABs. Our fingers are pointed, says Martin Smith. Okay, thanks, says Tahana. We are just about to have the national anthems of these two sides, ladies and gentlemen. Do let me know your score predictions in the comments as well. But while they are having the national anthems, we will be looking through at the starting lineups for Samoa. James Lay, Seilala Lamb, and Michael Alalatoa will be the front row. Chris Vui and Theo McFarland as the locking duo. Then in the loose forward trio, Taleni Su at 6, Fritz Lee at number 7, and Stephen Luatua, dangerous man, at number 8. Jonathan Tamatina and Christian Leliafano. I believe Leliafano will have kicking responsibilities for this game. Tamua Manu at 12. Ulipano Junior Saltini at number 13. Nigel Wong, Danny Tuwala, who has played a little bit more fullback than wing in the last few weeks. So I'm interested to see how that does work for him. And Duncan Paiaua is the man at number 15. Looking through at Chile's lineup. Carrasco, Duciliant, and Ditas as the front row. Huite and Peredro at number 5. Segren, the captain, at 6. Saavedra at number 7. And Martinez as the number 8. Tarilba, watch out for him. He's going to be the most valuable player for the Chileans out there on the field if he can get that ball out quickly alongside Rodrigo Fernandez, who already has a try under his belt. Got a flick in the midfield alongside Saavedra again. Arenas out on the left, Videla out on the right, and Ariaza at number 15. But it's going to be an exciting game. I can guarantee you that. Vamos Chile, says Mikhail. Go Manu Samoa. Says Nadron, go Samoa. Says Jason Adams. It's been really hard on the All Blacks. I think World Rugby really doesn't want to see them win again. Says Jack, although some of those penalties against the All Blacks, they're just really poor discipline from the ABs as well. So, yes, at times they do get penalised multiple times in a row. But, just being in the breakdown in the wrong spot or diving in, it's just going to get you penalised 9 times out of 10 at the moment. Definitely with how closely the referees are watching the games throughout this Rugby World Cup. Hi, says Jacob. Welcome in. 38-19 to Samoa, says Moose. And also, we have good afternoon/morning. Get ready to go down to the pub for this. Or getting ready to go down to the pub for this, says Fleshin. We have got there. I like Nigel Wong. He was a catchy name. I am Wong about that, says Martin Smith. I just hope he's able to catch the ball out on the wing, because if he can keep that ball in his hands, he's going to score a try. And that's not a true Kiwi, a nocturnal creature, says Robert. Yeah. It's really weird at the moment, my sleep schedule. I'm trying to decide whether or not to go with that same sleep schedule next week, because, the week for the first week of the World Cup, I was up during the day and then trying to sleep during the night. But then saying that, throughout about 5 days, I only managed about 10 hours sleep. So that probably made it a little bit trickier to keep that same schedule with the amount of Rugby World Cup games that are taking place. But they are just showing the Samoan lineup. Stephen Luatua, of course, going to be there. Duncan Paiaua, an important player at the back for the Samoans in that game up against the Irish. Go Samoa, all the best, says George there. Go Manu from American Samoa, says Tuika. And they are showing Michael Alalatoa. He'll be fired up this Rugby World Cup. It is not his first. Some of these young players, it's like Lema Sopolonga, there are tears in his eyes getting to play for his home nation. And nocturnals are more interesting, but morning people are wealthier, says Martin. And later I'm going to watch the game, says Tahana. And ouch, says Robert in there as well. The sun is out, 28 degrees Celsius for this game. I believe I also saw 28 kilometers of wind, which may mean we see a few up and unders early, trying to test out whether or not that swirling breeze can put the other side under pressure. But I believe somewhere that Samoa could win this game is in that loose forward trio. Taleni Su, Fritz Lee, and Stephen Luatua. If those three are getting the clean-outs and the breakdown alongside that front row, James Lay, we know that he's got quite a workhorse tank on him. Michael Alatoa is from Sydney. Went to Newington College, same as his brother. Says Jack there. We have also got there later. I'm going to watch the game, says Tahana. And there's on Samoa by 30, says George there. Could be the possibility. It looks like Michael Alatoa is going to lead side to what promises to be a very entertaining game. They are fired up beforehand. They're getting ready to face off against Chile. Chile any good? Will this be a Samoan whitewash? I believe that Chile will be able to try and push them early on, similar to what they did in their game up against Japan. They were able to score those 2 tries. But I think as this game wears on, Samoa will start to become that little bit stronger. Although saying that, they haven't been used to playing in 28-degree heat. We've got to remember they were a side that didn't have a game in round number 1. So yes, they would have been training in the heat, but they haven't felt that game intensity yet, which is actually somewhere where Chile, if you had to give them some sort of advantage, it's the fact that they have played a Rugby World Cup game already. A lot of those young players, first ever time that they have played in a Rugby World Cup for the whole side. So they would have been nervous. But now that they've been there, done that, I think those nerves would have settled and they'll look to come out firing here with the likes of Marcelo Torrealba, Rodrigo Fernandez, the 19 combination. Don't be silly. Support Chile. Says Gareth, it almost rhymes. It was very close. Yeah, just showing there, Matthias Ditas got himself a yellow card in the last game. That was actually quite a dangerous tackle that he did. He chopped out the knee of one of the opposition Japanese players when he was nowhere near the ball. So hopefully he doesn't do that again, or else he could find himself with a bit of a ban. But that is the Samoan pre-match ritual done now, ladies and gentlemen. We are just about to get into the kickoff. We have to look out for a player in the early stages of this game to say will be the first try scorer. I'm going to go with Danny Tuala, even though in my brain straight away I was thinking Jonathan Tamatina, but that may be because I saw that Pacific Nations Cup game that did take place. Samoa gave Ireland a good score during the warm-up game, says George. That is very true. Almost managed to pull off the victory there, 17 points to 13, just narrowly missing out at the last moment. The line-out throw was not straight. And then also alongside that, not quite able to get it into the corner like they needed. Samoa about 35 points for me. I'm playing in the heat as an advantage to Samoa. So although most of the players are based in countries, cooler climates, New Zealand, UK, and Europe, says most there. And also we have got there, let's go to Manu, says Chris, and Chow says audio and the heat is normal in South America, says Mikhail, exactly right. I think they'll really enjoy this challenge. Yes, it's going to be physical, but sometimes when you are one of those lower ranked sides, a bit of physicality can actually bring out some of the better in you. Because, yes, when you get hit hard, you don't really want to get hit hard again, but then that also fires yourself up to hit them hard. The problem is whether or not that discipline slips because they're trying to play such a physical game. And French crowd hushed the Chileans during the Manu Haka. There's Hanoi, and also we got the Hamos are going to pump the Chile, says Mounty, and hi, Veronica. I hear again enjoying your broadcast. Thanks, says, Verona rather than Veronica. So welcome in. Hope you are doing extremely well. Looks like now it is going to be Jonathan Tamatina about to kick us off for this game. The Samoans, they will be going from left to right in this opening game of the Rugby World Cup for themselves. Chile, they did play last week, and now they will be playing once more up against the Samoans. They've got this going to be Manu's best World Cup ever. They definitely have the firepower, says Tangata, and the smart low-ranked team will be the fittest/strongest. It's the easy way to improve. The game, says Martin Smith, but Paul Williams in charge of this one with Angus Gardner, James Dolman. Tell you what, it's an all Kiwi and Aussie refereeing panel for this match, but now underway. Christian Laliafano, in fact, will be the man who gets to do the kickoff. We are now underway. Samoa retaining their own kickoff. Tamatine going across now. Short pop pass up to Fritz Lee. Looking like they're bringing the intensity early on in this game. On the outside, it was Ulapano Junior Saltini. He's a try-scoring machine. Although Chile, they were almost over the ball, there is going to be a knock-on advantage now to the Samoans. James Lay gets his knees taken out from underneath him by Ditas. He does like to tackle at the knees, Ditas. He may have to look at that in the future. Danny Tuala with the ball out on the wing, not a lot of space to work with, and Santiago Videla does manage to make the tackle on him. Now Tamatine on the halfway line goes off to the captain, Michael Alalatoa. Ball retention so far from the Samoans, 50 seconds in, and they've had 5 phases. Looks like now they are opting to go for the kick up high, and it is Tamatine who sends it towards the shade of the field. Going to be slapped back and into the hands of CHILE Live. Now Tamatine, a little bit hesitant with his pass, but does find Christian Liliofano. Now attack and run from Sultini. Bounce pass out to Nigel Awong. Looks for the offload on the inside after the tackle of Fernandez. Chile yet to touch the ball, although he isn't touched, but the penalty does go the way of Samoa beforehand. Why is it Samoa in blue? It's an interesting one because any side that is listed on this side for a majority of the matches has been in the away kit. I'm trying to think, with New Zealand in their home or their away kit for that most recent game? They were in the home kit, weren't they? And Namibia may have been in the away kit. So it's an interesting one. I believe the home side on the draw actually has to wear the alternative strip unless maybe given prior consent by the other team. Silly penalty there, says Jack. We have got Matavao, unfortunately, is not on the 23. Yeah, very good player, Milani Matavao. Misses out on selection here, but I believe they will be playing him in a few of those big matches. Depends where you are in South America. The Middle South is damn cold in winter, says Akaris. I think it will depend on how much Chile can handle the physicality in the second half. Here's Macau, but now 22 metres out. CHILE Live, first line out throw. Goes straight to Stephen Luatua. Well at the rolling ball for Chile. It doesn't look like it's making too many metres at all. The referee will tell them to use it now, Samoa. Tamatine on off to the right-hand side. Little dinker behind by Tamua. Manu cleaned up there by the fullback, Ayaris. It's going to be another penalty up against the Chileans. I'm not too sure what this one is for. Okay. We're just saying that the players were allowed to advance due to the fact that the rolling maul had stopped moving, and I think they've said that one of the Chilean players was just a little bit further forward. Jerome Luai was considered for Samoa. Says Jack, and good day watching from South Africa. Here's Tatiana and Daniel. We've got 3 games back to back to back. It's going to be very exciting. See how all of them go. Hamish Legend back at for this great commentary session. Well, I hope you are having very good day so far. It's only afternoon for you guys in either the Northern Hemisphere or South Africa. No. Who will the Southern Hemisphere blame for the bias refereeing against another 2 Southern Hemisphere teams? Or Southern Hemisphere refereeing team. Here's Fleischer and take the 3. Yep, they are lining up the kick now with Christian Lediofano. So I think it's the better option to get those points on the board early and then look to build from there. Liliofano, big chance for him playing for Samoa in his first Rugby World Cup in the blue jersey. He's had one before for the Australians. Now for Samoa, was their first points of the Rugby World Cup. 3 points to 0 to the guy kicking his play for the Wallabies, says Jack. He did indeed. Christian Liliofano gets elected for the Samoans and has been looking good in that jersey ever since. Good afternoon from Johannesburg. Still getting, trying to get over the Proteas 416 score in 50 overs versus Australia. The ODI series now to all. There's Andre. We will blame Flesh and says Yo Kiwi says Daz, welcome in, mate. Now trying to get the ball on here. The Samoans popped out the back on their own 22. Do you think a rugby will grow in Brazil? Lots of big guys there, says Hanoi. I know that the 7 side of things has been slightly growing in Brazil. So as they, I guess, play 7s more and as they start to learn the game a bit more as well, maybe we do see a union side start to break onto the scene. Beautiful sell of the dummy there from Fernandez. This man is a superstar. Finds the offload up to Torrealba. And Chile now 10 metres out for the line. Pass it to the short side. Saavedra gets within the 5 metres. And Chile have come out firing here. Soon as they consider that 3 points, Torrealba, the ball is popping out the side to Detas. Moves within 2 metres. Torrealba sees the option on the short side. Instead will leave it for his big forwards now. Another advantage against Samoa this time. For being offside, can Chile score the first try in both of the Rugby World Cup matches? So far round the side, I believe he's over the line and Chile score in the early stages. It's Matthias Detas. He is celebrating, or is he? He's a very confusing bloke. He looked like he was smiling. Then he looked like he wanted to punch a Samoan player. Then he was smiling again. But he has scored the first try of the match. Matias Aditus is already rocking the black eye in the game. Hadn't even started. We've got their try, says Mountie, and also Chile try, says Dublin. And also we have got there, wouldn't be the first time we blame Fleshett, and also greetings from Boston Hamish. Much better than the Peacock announcers, but brilliant line break from Fernandez. Found his pop pass up to Torrealba. Those two, like two peas in a pod, they seem to understand exactly what is going on. That's a massive shot from Olapano Junior Saltini. This may even be upgraded to a yellow card alongside the try. Hello to our South African friends, says Tangata. Right. You're going to have to check this one. And sevens is a perfect for the style of sports Brazil, says Macau. And yeah, their women's seven-side has actually been doing a little bit more on the circuit recently than their men's. You don't want the smoke from a Samoan, says Jason. I don't know. You should take the three that early. Work the defence early and methodically, says Richard. Also, you've got there, glad you're watching. Are you going to put the people who score the try on the screen? Says Daz, we could do. That was a massive shot. I don't think this is going to be too good here for one of the Samoan players. Hits him in the midsection, Olapalo Junior Siltini. It's probably going to end up as a yellow card with how late it was. I doubt it will be a red, though. I'd be pretty disappointed if it became a red card. With the fact that he didn't get the ball, with the fact that there was a bit of power coming into it, I think there's going to be a yellow card here. With the way that the law book is, try really Chile. Lads just opened me dish, says Spider-Mick. Yeah, first try of the match goes to Chile and Ditas, the man who does score it. Okay, they're going to give it as a yellow card against Junior Olapano Junior Siltini, I should say, sorry. Going to be a yellow card, but that is just silly stuff from Samoa early. We will go like this. Ditas, the first try scorer for Chile in this match up against the Samoans. And now Samoa do have to play with only the 14 men on the field. That red card is annoying, says Spider-Man. So, yeah, they can review it. I don't think it will be upgraded to a red card unless they can find some sort of evidence that says that it was more dangerous than it was. Yes, he was extremely late with the shot, but I don't think it will be upgraded to a red. Oh, we have got there. Well done, everyone. Well done. Well, hello, everyone. Well done, Chile, says Brian. Actor, says audio check. Santiago Videla to line up this kick. The first of the match, I am Michelle about Tonga beating Ireland, says Dion. They are actually the biggest underdog of this day with the 3 games. On the odds, Chile have, second biggest. I think Chile were lower than that, although they certainly won't be now. It should be a double yellow, too many head reds. There's Richard. Well, there should be a double yellow, sorry. And I aim is back here again. Says Neil, and here we go again. Islanders versus the ref again, says Fiji Islander. Although, to be fair, that shot was extremely late on a man who didn't get the ball. So it was always going to be. I thought that was the guy who delivered me the Chile shirt, but it was not, I don't think. I'll have to ask him if he went to this game. It looked very similar to him in Chile, Portugal, Romania, and a multi-bet. There's Hanoi. Brave, I'd say. Very brave. But tell you what, if it pays off, you're getting like 5 houses. And Chile won't beat a tier 1 nation. Says Jack there. But then to be fair, they're not really expected to. It's their first ever Rugby World Cup. So even to have a game like that up against Japan is more than a lot of people expected from the Chileans. Being able to score the first try in both of their games is absolutely phenomenal. Now Torrealba kicks it high for the Chilean Samoa. They will have to try and find a way back into this match now. Slapped back by Chile, and it's back available for the kicker, Santiago Videla. Now Torrealba going across again. I believe that's going to be the big man, Martinez, at number 8. Ditas. Try scorer. He'll be lurking around the side of the breakdown now. Nice beginning, says Sirius Munns. And greetings to all Cape Town here. The penalty this time goes to Samoa, though. Fritz Lee has been able to get the turnover. Bulla Hamish, you had any sleep? Yeah, I did get a little bit of sleep in between the live stream. So I believe I slept from about 5 p.m. to about midnight. So about 7 hours or something, which is pretty decent over a weekend. this one might hurt Samoa in the end, says George. And also, how strong is Chile in soccer? Curious. Okay, the card does remain as a yellow card as well as the update that we've just received. Plus, the refs are very harsh against Pacific Island teams, says George. I think the penalty count's about even at the moment between these two sides. It looks like Samoa will be taking on the 3 again here. Okay. We're just telling the captain of Chile, Segrin, that yellow card will remain as a yellow card. And he made a face like, as if he wasn't happy, but he was probably one of the more controversial cards in round number 1 because his should have been upgraded to a red, but it only stayed at a yellow. So I'm sure if the roles were reversed, it might have been a little bit different. But he was just talking about the fact that Samoa is saying that they're offside when they're not. And Paul Williams said he will keep an eye on it. But the kick is successful. Now going to make the score 6 points to 7. We have got there Chile captain, already spoke more than Fijian captain against Wales, says Hanoi. We have got there Hamish, I'm using a business account with limits. So after the 22nd, I'll be able to send you more tries, says Brian. And there's all that is all good. It is absolutely hugely appreciated you showing your support on the channel. They just show Sia Khaleesi, Eben Etzebeth, and also Chisel and Colby all in the crowd watching this game. One benefit that you have got, of course, of not playing for your side tomorrow, get to chill out, enjoy some of the atmosphere of the France World Cup, not just while playing, but also from a perspective of the spectator. Now Samoa just outside of 22, looking to drive this one forward again. Now I will mention Samoa, with the fact that England didn't get themselves the try-scoring bonus point, Samoa can get 5 here. That would be absolutely massive for them. It's another penalty going the way of Samoa. Two movements, so the ball carrier would have been penalised, but they go back for the original penalty. Whereas George, it is currently 1:15 a.m. in New Zealand, so he is asleep. But I believe me and him are going golfing tomorrow morning. If I'm not wrong, alongside his brother and Daniel, one of the other Kiwi lads. And that's going to be pretty much straight after Tonga versus Ireland. So we got a relatively big day ahead. I've got the I'm here, Jeff. Says George in there. And all the best for Chile, says Molly K. Yeah, they've started this match very well, getting themselves the early try of Detas, laying up against a 14-man Samoa now, although Samoa look like they're starting to find a little bit more momentum. And oh, George, not Georgia, says Richard. And there's on go Chile, says Jorge. Say la la lamb, throwing that line out and straight, taken by Chris Vui. He's our captaincy in the Pacific Nations Cup. Does not have it for today, though. Michael Alatoa back in the side. Jonathan Tamatine, short ball. Good second run from Tamua Manu, the inside centre. Now Tamatine, another advantage against Chile. This time, I believe it's for jumping over the top of the breakdown from Martinez. On the side with the pick and go here for Samoa. And slowly the discipline of Chile is hurting them because Samoa is marching their way forward. Short ball, big bump off from Salalalam on Saevera. Now Samoa slinging it to the right-hand side. Tamua Manu shut down in his tracks by Garafalik. They might have been rushing up a bit quick there, Chile, as well, and they will go back for the original penalty in favour of the Samoans. Still 4 minutes remaining on the yellow card. I should mention that is of Olapano Junior Saltini. It was not upgraded to the red, so he will be out there on the field in only those 4 minutes times. But I should mention, anyone who is new to the channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. It is hugely appreciated you all being here. We are going to be here for all of the rugby matches between Chile, Samoa, all of the Rugby World Cup games. To be sure, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. At the moment, the penalty count, it's 5-0. Didn't Samoa get penalised earlier on? If I'm not incorrect. There was a penalty against Samoa. No, they don't play. They are all professionals. Time to go to Spectators. Says Moose in there. Wait, no, they don't. They are all. Although the Chilean side, I believe only 3 of them play outside of Chile. And then also alongside that, most of them had full-time jobs before going into this Rugby World Cup, which half of them had to quit so they could get the time off to be able to play rugby in the World Cup. So they are considered professional athletes, but they haven't quite had that same journey as some of the other sides around this Rugby World Cup, which is why it's so incredible with how well they've been able to play throughout some of their games. But now Christian Leali'ifano lining up another 3 points for Samoa, and it has gone over. That will give them now the 9-7 lead. The question is, when are Samoa going to flip that switch and decide to start going for the corner here? Rugby is amateur here, says Mikhail. It makes me want to go for Chile. Hearing they are amateurs, says it was there from Hanoi and Vamos, Chile. Says Claudia, and put those Samoans to the sword. Vamos, Chile, says Victor. And also we have there talking inside that 90-minute sport, not outside it, says Audio. Now it's going to be kicked up high. Nicely taken inside of the 22 by Samoa. I believe this time it's going to be Nigel Awong with the straightening run. Now Tamatine putting the ball back into the pocket to Christian Leali'ifano. It has gone into touch. Boring play, Samoa, says Gareth. Although, to a certain extent, at the end of the day, they're only playing with 14 men on the field currently. So perhaps they are just looking to get that lead back while playing with one less man. And then as soon as they get back to 15, that might be where they're being more aggressive, because we've got to remember, if they go for a line out, they will actually be outnumbered in their back line compared to what Chile will have against them. So that could be the reasoning behind it. You just want to be back to 15 on 15 first. Savera taking it for Chile, 22 metres out from the line here. And starting to march forward quite nicely, but unfortunately the ball has popped out the back. The loose ball, and smart play, Samoa. Shut up, Gareth. Parents don't. Well, that was brutal. I mean, smart play, I agree with. I don't know about Gareth's family situation, of course, but yeah, it's just being strategic. At the end of the day, you don't want to give the opposition any sort of edge if they have got that extra man available, and you just want to use up more time as well. We've got to remember the 10 minutes flies by pretty quick when you're taking about a minute to line up each of your kicks. I want to see more attacking rugby from Samoa, not kicking for the threes, says George. Yeah, I think in about a minute's time, when Olopano Junior Saltini makes his way back out onto the field, that is when Samoa will start to be a little bit more aggressive. Is the Supawonga Leali'ifano playmaker question the same as forward Farrell Smith? A little bit, I guess. I prefer Christian Leali'ifano with the way that he plays, just with that a bit of extra composure, I find. Lema Supawonga, he can probably give you more X-factor moments, but Leali'ifano seems to be that more consistent option. But neither of them too bad for the Samoans to have, that is for sure. Samoa will likely win this easily enough. Delighted to see Chile get a try. Says Brian, yeah, at the moment they are currently continuing a trend of being able to score a try, the first try in every game that they have played throughout this Rugby World Cup. And if they were able to do that throughout the whole competition, that would be absolutely huge. Chile is hot go Samoa, says Spider-Mick. We have got there, Christian has had more time playing with the players in the team, so the combinations are better, says Moose. Very true. Playing for Moana Pacifica. Just joined as discipline lacking for Chile. Yeah, they have given away about 6 penalties so far, but it is Samoa who have got themselves the yellow card for a late shot in this game already. Lamatine. The ball into the scrum. They did get themselves the free kick. I think that's just going to... Oh, that's unlucky for Chile. I feel like Samoa could have used that one. They left it in. And now Olopano Junior Saltini about to make his way back out onto the field. Hey, Hamish, Samoa trying to run over Chile rather than throwing around them. Shot Chile for giving it a good crack. Says BP there as well. And Chile says Pia. Hamish, your best All Blacks captain ever. I mean, I know that a lot of people would probably go with Richie McCaw, wouldn't they? Although some of those old school captains, I was actually thinking Sean Fitzpatrick in terms of being able to fire up a team. And you know he's going to put absolutely everything into the game back then as well. And with the amount of caps that he got, like, they weren't playing as many test matches back then. So to have as many as he had was pretty impressive. Detas' ear has been busted open. Try scorer looks like Olopano Junior Saltini now going to be slotting back in to the midfield. Definitely Richie for me, says George. And let's go Samoa, says Sina. And how much does a player get for each match from the Cup, says Richard. I'm not sure about their wages. I know that certain players probably get different amounts depending on their contract and everything along those lines. But this will be a big opportunity for the Chilean boys to hopefully make a little bit of money and to show everyone what they can do. And even if it's not making money in this competition, it may be making it outside of it. The likes of a Tarilba, I said about it, if he is near the end of his contract, I could easily see him playing in France, see him playing in England, just somewhere else around the world that would offer him big money. But now it's going to be Ayarza, sorry, at the back with the ball in hand for Chile. Samoa needs to kick for territory and use their rolling maul. Chilean discipline has been poor, so I should get penalties in the red zone. Says Mus. That's going to be the penalty to Chile. That is actually the first official one that they have got on the statistics. Sean Fitzpatrick, first captain to win the series in South Africa. Great commentary, says Patricia in there as well. I've got their favourite scent of car air freshener. Hamish says, Jack, what I like to do is I like to drill a hole through a KFC chicken drumstick, put a string through it, and hang it up on the mirror. That's not true, by the way. That is kicked into touch by Chile. Big shots and the breakdown as well. I think it was Luatua who made the first initial tackle. Oh, yeah, good there. Oh, no, says Caitlin. That's disgusting. Yeah, no, I wouldn't recommend doing that. It probably, the thing is, it wouldn't even smell that nice, I wouldn't think. Now, line out throw for Sealant. Taken by Chile, currently sitting 40 meters out from the line. They are still one try up in terms of the stats. Oh, the game around the side of the breakdown again. The pick and go Tarilba going across here to Segrin, the captain. He's holding his face. I think he's asking about the high shot. That is going to be a knock on from Samoa. They will go back for the scrum. Smell good for the first half hour. True. As soon as the sun hits it, I'd hate to go in that car after like 2 days. I feel like that would be like absolutely brutal. It would definitely be a windows down kind of deal. Yes. So he got some big shots on his head for Segrin. I think the crowd are booing because they think it would have been a penalty. Perhaps Samoa really lacking discipline depth. Says Mark and G's, please keep the soccer antics out of rugby, says Mus. Oswego there, Buck Shelford playing on after getting one of his family jewels rucked. A legendary captain performance by Richie as my captain, or But Richie as my captain, says BP. Is Sam Cane underrated as captain? I think on the field, we don't see a huge amount of Sam Cane, but from what I've heard about the Chiefs behind the scenes, like what he does for the players off the park in terms of helping them improve is actually a lot more than you see when he's out there on the field. So I feel like in that regard, he's a great captain, but just doesn't really get the chance to showcase that for the All Blacks too often. Pretending to be injured, try and milk it. Says Moose. The thing is, I know it sounds terrible to say, but doing that sometimes gets you the penalties because we saw the game between France and Fiji. Naiha Bossi was pretty much clotheslined by Yui Antonio, but because Bossi jumped back up to his feet, nothing happened. And Yui Antonio got probably away with a 5-week ban because the TMO didn't check it because he, Vinaya Bossi got straight back up. Whereas if he had stayed down, they would have gone upstairs. It would have been a red card and a suspension. So it's a very tricky one because players sometimes now are getting hit and not rewarded with any sort of penalty against the other man unless they do stay down for a little bit longer. And it's not what we want, but it's what unfortunately is happening now because of the lack of, I guess, what would you say, lack of competence by the referees. That sounds brutal, doesn't it? Oh, we have got there that German for Manu Samoa and down. It looks like there is an injury here for Chile, and he is down with a relatively serious looking injury. I think it's something to do with the neck or the head. Sam Cane is not assertive enough. Artie needs to captain his physicality and neither say die attitude. We have got there Cane sucks. Oh, woo. Says Ric Flair. I feel bad for wooing that. It hit me in the brain afterwards. Winners to groups. Hearing any ideas? I think it's later on this week. Yeah, big shot. Unfortunately, Chile, it was actually the tackle attempt. I mean, it's a bit weird that the Chilean number 12 got a flick win over and was blaming Nigel Awong for running over his teammate, but his teammate got his head on the wrong side, knocked himself unconscious. We have got there. Was the first one? Yes, says Mikhail. And also, we have got there, I thought, I read some time ago that they were supposed to be speeding things up. Says Neil, to be fair, they haven't really had a huge amount of the ball yet. To be able, oh, sorry, the referees. I thought you were talking about Samoa. And I agree, Kane has to be one of the worst captains ever. Sam Kane is an ideal indeed, says Sebastian. I wish Nonu was playing for Samoa. That would be a very entertaining midfield combo, that is for sure. He makes his way back to his feet. The Chilean tackler and does get the pat on the back from the Samoan man. Did run over the top of him. He was an awesome player, said Neil. We don't want soccer style antics in rugby, but you're right, Hamish, says Brian. Yeah, it's one of those unfortunate scenarios that because the TMOs don't look at the things that they should and they look at things that they don't, things get missed. And like I said, Yui Antonio, minimum 3-week ban, and he would have been missing for the first couple games of the Rugby World Cup. And he probably only would just be coming back now. We've got there the Chilean defender. Raponga says it was there from Hanoi. One Nut Buck says Tangata. Why would Nonu play for Samoa? He's born in New Zealand, says Peace Baby. And there as well. Right, two sides getting called over by Paul Williams. He wants this game to speed up now. Only 21 minutes through. And Samoa to something for Chile Bites. Says Benny and up the wires. Says Rick, yeah, the Warriors getting themselves the win. Grandparent eligibility. Says TJ. And Jonah Takalua is my favourite player from Tonga. Says Jack. Yeah, Sonatane Takalua. He's going to be coming off the bench in the game up against Ireland. Taking place in only about 7 minutes time. Could upset beyond the cards. I'll be honest, Chile have put in a decent showing throughout the early stages of this match. I think the thing that's going to help Samoa is their physicality, and they've just won themselves a scrum penalty. The league's going out from underneath Javier Carrasco. Disappointed with that one. Warriors smashed tonight so much. For all the Warriors haters, says Moose. I think it's a tricky one for the Warriors, isn't it? Because everyone's waiting for that performance that they have expected for about the last 4 weeks, but it hasn't really happened yet. Yes, they did lose to the Panthers, but they had that second chance. Now making their way through. It's going to be wah. And when they get annihilated by my Broncos team, says Sir Michael. And how good was the was, says Hanoi. And there's unfortunately nobody will beat Penrith. Seems they will go 3 in a row on Julian Savia for Moana Pacifica. It's not Ma'a for Samoa, but maybe the next best thing is Divisaurus. The ref is Samoan. Says, why? No, he just knows the scrum rules. Now it's going to be thrown in. Nicely taken at the back by Theo McFarland. Chile trying to put the pressure on at the back of the line. Our big leg drive. I believe that would have been Taleni Su again. Fritz Lee. Gary from him. Around the side of the breakdown now for Samoa with the pick and go. They have not scored a try as of yet in this match. Now Tamatene. Going off to the left-hand side. Looks like Nigel Wong. A long way off his wing. And Lydia Fano. Short ball to Tamua Manu. Good defense from Chile, though. Not allowing the line break to open up. But I think if Samoa can shift this one, that is when they will find the gaps do start to open up. Tamatine again going off to the right-hand side. Good aggressive carry from Sailor Lamb. Spins out a one challenge now. James Lay around the side of the breakdown, making an extra 2 meters. Playing in the shade at the moment. They will not be minding that one bit. And the 28-degree heat. Tamua Manu. Short pop pass up to Nigel Wong. Chile hold strong in the defense. Manu Junior Saltini. Poor kick in behind. He's actually missed the ball almost. And Chile will get themselves the penalty. It was just a brilliant bit of defensive work from the underdogs. They weren't allowing Samoa to break through. Samoa, they risked it by going with a grubber kick rather than just passing through their hands. Only one New Zealand team in the NRL versus 15. Woo. There's Rick Flair, and Broncos is going to send the Warriors to Wawawa land. There's whatsoever. And also, we have the Hamish. How are you, brother? Been a good while. Good to be back on the channel, says Junior Ryder. Yeah, it's awesome to have you back, mate. Just in time for the World Cup as well. It'll be a very entertaining one. Good haka, says Gerard. New Zealand need another NRL team, says Hanoi. I think we need a couple more good seasons from the Warriors first, because it wasn't too long ago that the Warriors were inside of that top 8, and I feel like you don't want to dwindle the skill of that Warriors team by splitting them up. So it would be quite hard to get another sort of level that the Warriors are at currently in such a short amount of time. Maybe in the future they might look at adding another team. We have got there. Someone needs to slap that guy who kicked the grubber upside the head. Fun fact: he's also the guy who got the yellow card for the late shot. Now it's kicked high. Duncan Paiua. Nice take from him. 22. In fact, about 10 meters out from the halfway line. Tamatine now going to the left-hand side. Samoa. Good hands there from Junior Ulapanos Sutini. They just don't look like. Oh, they're allowed to try and go for it there, Tarilba. Now over the ball, Ayarza asking for the penalty, but doesn't manage to get it. Samoa making terrible decisions. Yep, and I mentioned about it before the game. I think that the bonus that Chile have here is the fact that they have already had themselves a game in this Rugby World Cup. Samoa have not had any opportunities. Is the match showing, or is he just talking? It is just me talking. Sadly, due to licensing, we can't show any match footage or audio, or else YouTube do take us down. Tarilba now rolling this ball back again. Being told to use it. But 26 minutes in, Samoa yet to get themselves a try in this game. Any update on the Ben Lamb injury? I heard that it's not as serious as it first looked, and he is still going to be available within the next few weeks, I believe it is. So he should be there before the quarters if they do make it that far, Samoa, which is good news for them. Of course, big run forward. If it was Alini Sue offload there, knock on from Samoa. It's going to be play on nicely. Grabbed by Christian Leliafano. Where can I watch the match? Says Minenli. Depending on whereabouts you are in the world will depend on your options, but your best bet is to go onto the Rugby World Cup website. They'll have a tab called Where to Watch, and then you can see where it is available depending on whereabouts you are in the world. Good run for from Gitas. Now Terelba. Thinking about going short to Savera. Good pressure being put on, but they will go back for the initial knock on from the Samoans. And another scrum feed here for Chile. And go rub butter on your hands. There's audio. And each of not in South Africa, there's no SABC. Here's Minutely. Yeah, and your contribution to the stream is getting them to do the woo. And we thank you for your service. There's Caitlin in there as well. Yeah, to be fair, I didn't think I'd be doing so many woos throughout the Rugby World Cup, but I'm not exactly annoyed about it either. That's a good offload from Stephen Luatua initially, but then the knock on again hurts. And South Africa has power, says Ric Flair. Just tuned in and I thought Samoa would be miles ahead, says Mr. Kiwi for life. Yeah, they've been doing very well in this game, Chile, to be able to push the Samoans. And currently Samoa only up by the 2. Looks like Sailala Lamb might have some sort of shoulder injury here. Rick My Power just came on 39 minutes ago. Says George, that is actually brilliant timing as well. 1 minute before the game. Did start up very sloppy play from Samoa so far, says Jack. Yeah, they're playing like a side that have never played together, unfortunately. And that is something that they'll definitely have to improve on as they make their way through this Rugby World Cup. Because they're in a group, now that Argentina lost their first game, they're in a group that is absolutely wide open. Just showing Santiago Videla, unfortunately, did take that head knock, but he is back on the bench. He won't be making his way back out onto the field, though. Yeah, looked like a relatively solid knock to the noggin. Segrin asking the referee whether or not they can have a water break. Paul Williams said to him, we just had one when that player was down before, but it is very hot out there on the field. Put a McDonald's logo on the ball. Someone won't drop it then, says Gareth, and search for his goal rugby, says young 21. Oh, but now scrum feed for Chile, 35 meters out from the line. Already got themselves the 1 try throughout this first half. Dangerous back line. They'll be trying to get this turnover penalty as soon as physically possible. Relba to feed that ball in. Be nicely taken off the back now for Tarilba. Trying to break his way through 2 tackles through 1. Out to the right-hand side. Huete Playing at number 4 for this game. I believe that was leaving his feet for Fritzley, so he's done well to pull out of that one rather than getting himself penalised. A nice big attack and run there once again from the starting hooker. They have got Diego Escobar coming off the bench. Quick tap taken by Tarelba. This is where he's so dangerous when he plays fearlessly. The 27-year-old offloaded to Fernandez. They're getting closer now for the Chileans, only 10 metres out from the try line. Going backwards now. Tarelba. Samoa, it's going to be the advantage against them for being in the breakdown. Savera almost through, but drops the ball. How hot is it? More than 30s? There's a noise. So they are sitting 28 degrees, but I assume with that sun and also that stadium, it's probably around that 30-degree mark for them throughout this game. In the early afternoon. Now, Chile have a decision to make here. Do they go for the 3 points to give them the lead 10 points to 9, or do you go aggressive, go for the corner, and try and increase those points by just that little bit more? Sounds like they are going to be going for the 3 points. Dumb halfback, take the 3 points, man. Says Hanoi, although he has made it an easier kick now for the Chilean kicker. He'll be about maybe 15 metres out rather than 28. So some would say it's a good option for them, managing to get themselves another penalty. Be better for them to take the 3. Says Moose there. Yeah, now they have been able to earn the extra one. And I'd say that they saw that as an opportunity to catch Samoa's discipline lacking. And they well and truly made the most of it. The ref is on the side of Chile. Says Jack. I believe Chile have been penalised 8 times, Samoa 3 throughout this game. But, you know, it is what it is. In fact, I have the stats here for you if you would like them in terms of the penalty count. I wonder if a referee has been accused of being on one side's team and then being accused of being on the other side's team, does that round out to being a pretty even performance? So 6 penalties against Chile, 3 against Samoa in this game. But they have managed to take the extra 3 points. Samoa's playing so bad, says Tony. It's certainly not the start to their Rugby World Cup that they would have liked. They are very impressive at the moment. They should go for the corner. Here's Brian. Oh, in fact, he hasn't taken the kick yet. I thought I heard the whistle before, but it must have been the referee blowing a different whistle. Galafulik now going to be in charge of the kicks here. And that one has gone over 10 points to 9. And Chile has been penalised way more. What are you on about, says Ernst. There, and Samoan's joking like, and also 10-9. Surprising but good, says Mark. And closer than I thought. I think the second half Samoa is going to run them off their feet. Brave fight from Chile, says George. And yet they've started this game similar to how they did in their last contest, and that was keeping the game close for the Chileans up against the Japanese. And I mentioned how having that one game under their belt, I think, will hugely benefit them here just because, you know, that gives you the confidence. You're at your first ever Rugby World Cup, and you're now trying to push the Samoan team. I will mention Chile are actually still $16 underdogs in this game compared to where they were at the start, which was around that 18 mark, I think it was, for the Chileans. Now line out throw. In fact, it's going to be, inside of the 22. Nice commentary game, says Mark. Thank you very much, mate. I don't believe the ref has been on Chile's side, but it's possible for a ref to favour a team he has penalised more. Says Moose. Now that is going to be Duncan Pyle. Great bit of footwork there, right next to the touchline. Troy has a very strong opinion. Says Sandra there. That is going to be another penalty, this time going in favour of Samoa. Cover those were all valid penalties. All Samoan penalties should not have been called, says Jack. Although they've had a couple that should have been out of their 3. So they're probably, they're still giving away penalties. Their discipline has been a little bit worse than they would have liked. Not supporting the body weight there. Samoa themselves the penalty. They are kicking for the corner, right? This is where that switch has been hit. I mentioned about it earlier on that Samoa, they had been going for the 3 points. The next time that they had the opportunity, I believe that they would be going for the corner. We go get there, Hamish. I remember when you guys were looking forward to 1,000 followers. Stoked that you now have 30K and keep up the great work. Says Olivia there. Thank you very much. And it's hugely appreciated you guys who do end up like popping back in from the early stages of the live streams. It's always cool to see the familiar faces, the ones who say, "Oh, we were back watching the first year of Super Rugby and first Six Nations and everything like that." Going to be knocked on by Stephen Luatua. That is a massive mistake in that case. We have got there Samoa going for that early three, set the tone for the match. Not a good tone for Samoa. It's a swear word, says Moose. It is indeed, but I feel like at this stage there is a lot of frustration for the way that the Samoans have been playing in this one. They're a strong one for us this season as we see Sandra and good point from Chile having the extra game. I wonder will this game rustiness affect Tonga later, says Brian. I honestly think it will. I know that it's harsh, but they played Canada in their two warm-up games, and I feel like that wouldn't have really told them too much. But then saying that, Samoa played Ireland in their warm-up game. They pushed them. Now they're struggling here, so it's very hard to tell the momentum. Fiji look better than the other island side, says Ric Flair. And the sad reality is, if Fiji don't win their game tomorrow against Australia, they will be the first Pacific Island side that misses out on the quarterfinals. Free kick now to Chile. Close right up on the shoulder against Michael Alatoa there. Stephen Luatua, been slumming it at Bristol. This is a step up. Says Power Bite. We have got there in the chat as well, the All Blacks. Says Richard. Now it's kicked into touch. Yeah, Khaleesi watching on for this game. He's looking bored at the moment. He wants to see more tries. Itzebeth always has his eyes locked on the game no matter what. Stephen Luatua, at least 50 years old. Ball line out throwing, says Moose. That's what's weird. Samoa played extremely well against Ireland, says George there. Nicely taken. Now short ball. Christian Liliofano. I actually want Samoa to win, but I have no idea how anyone watching this game can say Chile. Says Ince there. I believe the blessing is on New Zealand to win the World Cup, says Patricia. That's going to be another penalty for the Samoans now. They will be 40 metres out from the line. I feel like even though the lineouts have been a little bit shaky for them, they still need to kick this one for the corner. I don't think they'll win this game just basing it off 3-pointers. From about 40 metres out. I know those guys are still the first half. I think Samoa underestimated Chile. Says Oliver. I'll be honest, I think a lot of teams, I think I called you Olivia before, didn't I? Rather than Oliver, so I do apologise about that. They are going to take the 3 points here, Samoa. Playing a strategic game similar to the English, involves minimal tries. Okay, there you go, Manu. Says it was there from Jason, but Christian Liliofano now lining up the kick. Okay. A warning there from the referee, Paul Williams, telling him to tidy up the penalties. Is he the coach of Chile? Says MMA Sawyer. He is not, no. No, he's not a rugby coach, unfortunately, for him. They're playing down to Chile. They have to do is control the middle. And Chile will tire out. How deep can they be? Says Richard. Don't remind me of that awful match, says Mikhail. Now, Christian Liliofano, he does get it over. 12 points to 10 in this game. Not so cut and dried. That Samoa should be leading 28-0, says Mark. And it is Samoa's first World Cup game, so let's see how they do in the second half. Yeah, it may just take a little bit of time for them to be able to find their rhythm. But 7 penalties against Chile, 4 against Samoa. Just said there, 5th time that the lead has changed in this game. So a very close one between the two sides throughout the first half. Downfield from Christian Liliofano, nicely taken by Fernandez. Now looking to run the ball back. Going sideways at the moment, but looking to straighten now. Was the big man Carrasco, but he's driven back 10 metres. And the big driving tackle from Theo McFarland. Tarilba now going off to Savera. Ayaza joins the line. Replacement number 22. Man tackle there. Counter up from Samoa. They don't end up with the ball though. Savera has to play halfback. Now Tarilba back to where he needed to be. Ireland too fit for Tonga. Tonga be tripping over their tongues. There's Tangata. And also, we have good there. Wow, chicken homebrew vodka. Not quite, no. Just a big old bottle of water for myself. A little bar again. Bring it off to, I believe that would have been Pablo Huete. Good run from Chile. Martinez gets it up to the halfway line. Now Ayarza. And this is what I like about the way that Chile are playing. They're willing to run that ball rather than trying to kick it in behind. They know if they give the ball back to Samoa, that is where the counter attack can come from. Looks like there is a player down for the Samoans currently in back play. So that is not what they want. Now Tarilba changing the direction. Sells the dummy, tries to break his way through. Trying to catch who that player is. Might be one of the forwards for Samoa at the moment. Now losing his footing there, Michael Alatoso isn't able to get that counter. It looks like the Samoan player in back play is in a lot of pain, though, I should say. Ayarza, rough pass there to Savera, but he's been able to clean it up quite nicely. Now out wide to Garafulik, and the ball has been stripped from his hand. Samoa back in position. The hand was in touch, and it's going to be now a line out for Chile. For Amalosi boys go Manu, says Princess, and Paioa. Is a second five, not a bloody fullback, says Sir Michael. Yeah, it was a bit of a risk playing number 15, but after that last game up against Ireland, I felt like he was going to be able to go a lot better. Who's this? Is it Duncan Paioa who's down? No, it is Tamua Manu. And also we have got there number 6 looking good. Says Powerbite. So yeah, that is the captain, Martin Segrin. Fiji's going to win this World Cup, says whatever in there. And also waste my time to stay awake and sober to watch Samoa. Says whatever. Although I think this game's going to go down to the wire, which could be quite an exciting finish. So as well, how many injuries in this game? Says Jack. Yeah, we've had about 2 or 3 so far throughout the early stages. But that just shows the physicality that these two sides are playing with. Fiji play good running rugby. None of that set plays BS. Says Sir Michael, who you're back in Amish. Says Oliver. Well, at the moment, I mean, at the start of this game, I said that I thought Samoa would walk away with the victory. But at this stage, it's very hard to tell because Chile haven't played a bad first half here. In fact, they've played a very strong first half. Over there, Hamish would have said, come on, red hot Chile ballers. I actually saw someone in the crowd who looked like you, Hamish. I thought that it might have been you at the game. He had a Chile kit on, celebrating that first try. Yeah, I hope you are doing very well. I haven't got the Chile kit on me today. Maybe that's why they're playing better, because I didn't wear the kit. Although saying that, they've started with a try in both of their games. Japan will have a field day with the Samoan side. Says Bubba Bubba. A ball being fed in. Lamatine going to the left-hand side, kicked him behind here. Good chase from Samoa. Now they've got their chance. 3 men on the outside. Duncan Paioa scores the try for Samoa, their first of the half. And it took a while for them to get there, but in the end, it's Duncan Paioa who scores the first try of the match for the Samoans. Samoa try scorers like that. And it is Paioa. Boy, maybe that is where the floodgates now start to open for Samoa. Maybe they just needed one to get their confidence up. The difference there is their backline worked. They did still go for the grubber in behind, but that one was good because there was space. And then Olapano Junior Saltini passed it on the outside. About time, says Spider-Meg, and let's go Manu Samoa. No need to panic. Play the ball, says Tito. And we have got there. We need some more from Samoa, says the MMA Sawyer. And thank you very much for your donation, mate. Usually appreciated. And also, we have got there as well. Samoa will be too strong with 20 minutes to go, says Craig. Of course, the UFC taking place today as well. It'll be Valentina Shevchenko going head-to-head with Alexa Grasso. A rematch. Also on that card, Kevin Holland taking on Jack Della Maddalena. Be an interesting one. Now Christian Leliafano from the touchline just stays within the post. Brilliant kick. And that will now make the score at halftime 19 points to 10 in favour of Samoa. And the big question mark now is whether or not Chile can come out firing in that second 40 minutes, or whether now that Samoa have got themselves a try, perhaps that is the confidence builder that they do need. Cheers, watching from Chile today. It was there from Hamish Wood. Qualifying for the quarterfinals might come down to the points difference. And the bonus point says most exactly right, which is why Samoa, I believe, will need 4 tries in this game. If they want to walk away with a chance of going to the quarterfinals, they will need 4 to get that bonus point. Excellent try before halftime, too. Could be a psychological advantage, says Brian there. And there's Tonga after this one, says Mr. Kiwi for life. Although first, before Tonga's game, we have, of course, got Portugal versus Wales. And we are going to be covering that one on the channel as well. Anyone who is new, sure to leave a like and subscribe. I think Chile can still catch up the score, says Sirius. I think they've got a very good chance. All they need is for that first try in the second half. They will be on the right track. It's 1:55 in New Zealand. Are you not sleepy, Kiwi lad? I am not currently, no. Mainly because I only got up 2 hours ago. I have switched my time zone completely. Even though I'm in New Zealand, I've been sleeping with the Northern Hemisphere time zone over the last maybe 4 days or something along those lines, so that I can do these late night live streams without being absolutely tired. We have got there George down to depth in stamina, says Ernst. And also, I hope Chile in the second half side, or is the second half side like the box? The weaker team seems to play well in the first half, but the second half, the stronger team takes over, says George. Yeah, looking through at some of the stats for that first half, ladies and gentlemen. Now that Chile have conceded that last minute try, they do now come in as $26 underdogs in this one. Are there any other members of the Kiwi Lads? There are 4 of us. Although I think the last time we had one of the other fellas on was probably about 3 or 4 months ago. But alongside that, yeah, there are 4 in total. We have got there Manu 57, Chile 15, says Melo. The dedication of the man is phenomenal, says Ita. I'll be honest, it's felt really weird going to bed at lunchtime, but it works better in the long run, I believe. So today, I think I'm going to be asleep by maybe like 2 p.m. New Zealand time, so that I can sleep through, get a decent amount of sleep before those 3 live streams back to back to back that we are going to be covering on the channel. And that is Romania versus South Africa, Australia versus Fiji. That's going to be an absolutely awesome game. And then also the last game of the weekend, England versus Japan. We have got there, I find a weak point to fire the counter, find that 4 try. Hamish says audio. Yeah, if they can just get that backline firing, and the passing is the big thing for them. They've had a few passes that haven't quite found their hands. Fun fact, Chile have actually had more running meters throughout that first half, 189 compared to 148. Also, the offloading, just a few more from the Samoans, beating less defenders in that first half and having less runs. Everyone's at 100% line-out accuracy at this stage. We have got there, it's only 4 p.m. here. I've already had a V drink, says Mr. Kiwi for life. Great commentary, says Neil there in Japan. Over England, says Spider Meek. Yeah, people are talking about who will be the upset of this round of the competition. We haven't seen one as of yet. We saw Uruguay put in a brilliant shift up against France. These are the odds for these 3 games. Not quite live. Chile at the moment have actually dropped down to $26. But yeah, they were actually the biggest underdogs of this round, or in terms of these matches, that is, for today. Tonga's second biggest underdogs in Portugal. They say that they have got the best chance of being able to beat the Welsh. I did say before the game, though, I felt like Chile should have been a bit lower, seeing as this is Samoa's first game. They might be able to find themselves some early momentum. We've got it in the chat as well. I'm having coffee. Love my coffee, says George. And Island Tonga, the night court is closed, says Sandra. And also, Khaleesi is a affirmation. Wouldn't get a spot in any other international teams, says Mike. I disagree. I think Khaleesi has been in some tremendous form over the past 12 months. A lot of people were concerned at whether or not with his injury he was going to be able to come back and play as well as he has, but then he got his assist up against Argentina. He's a great player, Khaleesi, and I feel like he's definitely proved himself for the Springboks over the last little while. At the moment, in the head-to-head between him and Maka van Staden, I know a lot of people would pick Khaleesi. That probably tells you everything that you need to know. And South Africa will win by 100 points, I think, says Joseph Weber. middle name is very close to Joseph Weber. Fun fact, a player who might get added in to the Springbok side due to that injury of Malcolm Marks. Currently 50% in this game, possession for both of these sides. And also looking through at a few of the other stats, territory 54% in favour of the Samoans. We have got there, he was bad back in 2007. Led Super Rugby and missed tackles. Now he's really good. There's Moose there. And also not anymore, Mikey's a good player now. Mike has said, I know. Wait, so you know he's a good... What was your first statement then? If you thought he was a good player? There we go. We have got a donation from Mr. Broom. Thank you very much, mate. Hugely appreciated. Everyone is falling for this dude. Look at his name. Says Safi, there is a reason I haven't read it out, Safi. Don't worry. I did notice from the get-go. Also, we're going to be Ireland score against Romania, 82 points to 8. It's a very good question because I know that that's been probably the biggest talking point of this round is whether or not South Africa will get more points than the Irish. I know that there's the rivalry going on between those two sides at the moment. So I'm curious. I feel like at the moment, I think that they can. In my preview, I think I said that they'd win this game by just a few more points. South Africa are going to run all day. Says TJ, I'm feel for Chile because it's those handling errors. Disappointing because England and Argentina will be up to 25 plus with how they hold on the line, says Audio. We have got there dry, says Philippines and South Africa going to run all day. I think they're going to be definitely the more fitter team out there on the side. Is that a euro or a pound from Mr. Broom? I think it's a euro, isn't it? Which means you're from the Northern Hemisphere, Mr. Broom. Which game you're looking forward to the most over the weekend? You let me know how long is the halftime, says Elizabeth. Normally around that 10-minute mark. So I'd say it's probably another 5 minutes or so. And then they will end up making their way on. Have you ever had to ban somebody from the channel? Might be the first. We have had to ban in total probably about 1,000 accounts. A lot of those have just been spamming ones that try and send you to dodgy websites where there's apparently local girls who want to have a hookup. Fun fact, they don't. Don't click those links. But yeah, we've had a few that we've had to get rid of in the past. Rick, I think so, because the team we've picked is a fast-paced attacking team for scrum halves, Bud. Says George, and Ireland versus Tonga, and Chile have only Chilean players. Says Eterno there. It does have the Ireland, says Sandra, for which one she's looking. You checked the link, says Caitlin. I did not know. No, I didn't. That makes it sound like I did, doesn't it? But I have not checked those links. I just know. I know from people that I know. I'm digging myself out. I haven't clicked on them. Okay. I have not done such a thing. Is it a good game? Says what? It's close. That's the good thing. You know, it's what you need. What do you mean they don't? It can't possibly be a scam, says Sebastian. Yeah. I mean, it's quite funny though when you see the screenshots that they send and they're like, I live out in the country, like 10 Ks away from anyone, and apparently there's a local girl in my paddock 2 kilometers away. But yeah, I think George gets a few of them, not the girls in the paddock, but the notifications, even though he lives way out in the country. Hamish should look and sound guilty. I realized after I said about it that no matter how I describe this, it sounds like I know about it, but I know that they are scamming. So that's what I know. You know? Troy Island team is in place to be winning, says Sandra. The holding next. Saying you haven't clicked on it doesn't mean you haven't. Says Timmy Smith. And also hot singles in your area. Click below, says Caitlin. Yeah, those ones. You see quite a bit of them popping up. What's happening with the game? It is half time. So we are currently waiting for the second half to get back underway. It's been a relatively close one between the two sides. I utterly expect George to check out the links. Probably. I feel like he'd click on it, even if it's just for banter. I think he had one on Instagram that was just sending him a whole heap of random messages, and it was a bot, and it was also, it wasn't a bot, it was a man. But George just kept on saying, I might send you some money. And then the guy kept on just pretty much asking him for money, and then he didn't send him any. That was such a boring story. I apologize for that one. Second half will be much better. And guys, sorry I'm late. How's the game so far? It's been very close. We've seen 10 tackles made by Theo McFarlane. Most running meters is actually Rodrigo Fernandez. Sitting 61 meters made throughout that first half. But the two sides still in their changing sheds, just waiting to come back out onto the field. Just arrived into this conversation, and you look like you've done something bad, says Yvonne. No, I'm just terrible at describing some situations. But yeah, it was just a description of just don't click on the random links that pop up at times because they are dodgy. No chance for Chile. One link that you can click on, though, even though it's not a link. If you do want to follow us on the old Instagram, be sure to check out how long you live. You rest live 10K from nearest house. Not myself, no, but George is probably a few Ks away from the nearest house. Be sure to check out the Instagram, ladies and gentlemen. The underscore Kiwi underscore lads. We did have a few of you guys click follow yesterday. I did get one message as well, which was quite nice. It was talking about how Romania are going to get 100 points put on them, was the message that I received. But yeah, be sure to chuck us a follow on the Instagram. Send us a message. We don't bite. See, now I don't bite. I've got big teeth, but I don't bite. Game on if Chile need the next score, says Neil. And one yellow, says George. Yeah, just the one for, it was Ulapano Junior Siltini. I followed and still no post, says Caitlin. Yeah, that's true. We need to work on that, don't we? One day. One day we'll have a post. The thing is, though, we've had about maybe not 4 years, about 2 years of having that Instagram. So now when we post something, it has to be like the best picture ever. The question is, what is the best picture ever? And that's what we're still deciding, I guess. I followed you. I'll send a message now. Says Yvonne there. If you don't bite, then what can the lasses from the ads expect? Says Sebastian. See, see and a half just around the corner, ladies and gentlemen. I feel like I've been single for too long, haven't I? I sound very lonely. Romania gets 120 points put on them. Says Moose there. I was thinking that you mean the lads from the ads. Lads from the ads does roll off the tongue quite well. I feel like if I was ever in an ad on TV with my friends, I would then change the YouTube channel. No, maybe not this one, but I'd make a new one called The Lads from the Ads. I feel like that would be quite a good one. We'll stick that too, Sebastian. Says Yvonne. And also Romania is a side that never seems to improve. Says Rick Flair. Oh, they've had a rough time, Romania. Like originally they weren't even supposed to be in this Rugby World Cup because Spain was going to qualify ahead of them. But Sebastian, he is from Romania. He'll be able to tell you what they're going to do to improve in the next few years. I got Fiji and the sweepstakes at work, says Mr. Broom. Well, so you'll be definitely hoping that we see the next try or the next game for Fiji go their way. Yesterday, popcorn was trending. I'm the only one who likes salt and vinegar. Says George. Also, hi guys. I must say I'm enjoying watching the smaller teams play, says Stephen. Yeah, it's very entertaining and it's promising for the future. Don't rule Argentina out, says Neil. Very true. The Argentines losing that first game. They don't have a game this week though. They'll be hoping in the future to be able to get all their wins back to back to back. Has it started? Almost. We are about maybe 1 minute away from the two sides being back out on the field. Box won't put a hundy on Romania, says Thorfinn. And also we have got there, I'm going on a visit through Botswana and Namibia, says LJ there. It'll be a fun trip. Is it hot there at the moment or cold? Let me know. I know that it's supposed to be hot here, but it's like 1 degrees, somewhere around there. Yeah, I've got there your autocorrect mixed up. The country with the pepper. Mine keeps doing the same thing. Is there a way to stop that? Says Neil. I am not too sure, unfortunately. Absolutely F all improvement. Country focusing solely on the development of football. The rugby system is neglected heavily. Says Sebastian. Well, there you go. That is from a Romanian as well. So maybe not so much improvement coming around the corner. They've got a decent group of players at the moment. Like Volvos in that game up against Ireland, I thought was very strong. Rapanu. I think it's new at the end. I got to come with a new topic every match for the chat. Stream for the game. Stay for says Caitlin. Favorite brand of pen, Hamish? One that works because normally with a pen, you know, when you try and pick one up and you want to write a note and then you just don't have any ink or it has ink, but it just doesn't come out. That's the annoying part. So Bic normally go all right. We've got there, Hamish, if you get married, you have no time for our rugby. commentary. That is not true. I feel like even in a relationship, I would still have of plenty of time to be able to do the rugby things. Although also I'd have to find a girlfriend first before getting married. I like to think that that would be the order of events. Nicely taken by Theo McFarland, just inside of the 40, sorry, inside of the 22. Has ink, but it doesn't come out is an annoying problem, if you know what I mean. I did think at the time it sounded a little bit like an innuendo, didn't it? Now nicely taken by Larenas. All quite nicely. I'm busy marking IT exam papers while listening. Good day to you all. Says Peter. Are you married? Says LJ. I am not. No, I don't even have a girlfriend. Get already to Samoa. First breakdown. They have committed to in through the side from Chile. A little bit unfortunate. I heard Romania is recruiting Andrew Tate for the starting 15. And Sopawanga is more crafty and creative than Liliafano, says Tangata. And I did say that near the start of the game. I said that Liliafano is probably going to give you a more consistent performance, but Lima Sopawanga is going to give you the X factor that might actually change it. How old are you? Says LJ. I am 23. Almost 24, though. I turned 24 in a few months. It'll be exciting. I think on the weekend of my birthday, we've got the Dubai 7. So we're probably going to be doing about 3 days worth of streaming. She would need to at least like rugby. Otherwise, she won't like all this time you spend on commentary, says Gugu. Very true. I feel like I'd get myself in trouble quite a bit, wouldn't I? A rugby connoisseur, well, maybe not a connoisseur, but a rugby enjoyer would be ideal. Now Fritz Lee out to the 22-meter line. Jonathan Tamatine slinging it away to the left-hand side. Little pop pass out. Christian Leliafano goes off to Nigel Wong. One more to Theo McFarland. 2 meters out from the line. Tamatine with the diving finish. Scores the try. Flings the ball into the crowd. And Tamatine gets the first try of the second half. That was quick as well. The fact that they did take 40 minutes to score the first try to now be in this position of scoring their second straight away in the second half. Tamatine's a name that takes a bit of effort to spell. There we go. That looks about right. 2 tries now for Samoa. Beautiful try. Says just some guy on your birthday. What day in December? It is the 2nd. Do you play rugby yourself? I used to. I was out on the wing, but then I kind of got a little bit slower and also just never touched the ball because our halfbacks didn't have any idea what passing was. So yeah, I just sat out on the wing and tackled. So then I actually became a football goalkeeper because I still got to dive and kind of rough myself up a little bit, but I also touched the ball. Unfortunately, my team didn't know how to defend, so I touched it way more than I would have liked. We have got there. I was asking all the important questions: age, location, and married status. Says Moose. Also, we have got their father is Scottish but born in Swaziland. Now in South Africa, everyone struggles with pronouncing my surname. You will notice that I have just called you Caitlin all throughout these live streams. See, it looks like McGrawthy. No, there's no H. McGrawthy. I'd say McGrawty at a guess, but it's probably wrong. Try Samoa says Sebastian Farmalosi also says Asangi, but now have the floodgates started opening. I heard Invercargill was the best city in the world. Thoughts, Hamish? Why? Why? It's got like I'd assume it's all right if you live there. But then I know that George says that his family, there's a few relatives who live down there and they hate it because it's so far away from everything. Okay, that's nice, Caitlin. I hear your surname is difficult to pronounce, Lowell says George. Jonathan Tamatini is a good support player. Yeah, he's always in the right place at the right time. Oh, he's just tackled a little bit high, though, there. Might have to be careful making the tackle around the head region. Magote. Is it Magote? Now, knock on from Chile. Samoa. Whatever happened at halftime has certainly fired them up and got them on the right track. Laliaflano now out on the wing having a run. Oh, it's a knock on and the breakdown from Taleni Su. It looks like Laliafano's having a little bit of struggle here with an injury of some sort. So I think that they'll bring on Sopawanga relatively soon. You wouldn't want to risk him with another injury here. seeing as he did already have a bit of a knock going into this contest. American rated New Zealand, says Spider-Mick, and Chile's balloon has punctured. Got it on the last try, pronounced with the roar like a lion. So it's McGrawty. A little bit of. That looks like a bad injury. Who that? Is that Sailor Lamb? Yes, it is. Unfortunately, he has got a bit of a shoulder injury. The floodgates are now open, says Tangata. And the tricky part here for Chile is trying to slow down this momentum that Samoa are now starting to create. That number 6 for Samoa is terrible, says Mus. He's quite tall, though, isn't he? Is Swaziland even a real place? I think it's called Eswatini now, if I'm not wrong. Is that correct? I'm dating I'm dating Chiselin's cousin Samantha, says Graham. Hopefully you are treating her well, because or else Chiselin Colby, I'm pretty sure he'd be able to catch you. Yes, bring him on, says Sir Michael. I'm so happy to be a fan again. Winning, says Sandra. And there is an injury every player in this game. Just get on with it, says Jack. It's spoken like someone who's watching the game rather than playing it, Jack. That statement. At the end of the day, these guys are going out there and they are whacking into each other. There's been some huge hits. I mentioned about it how it's like throwing two fridges at each other, which is not recommended. But yeah, a lot of heavy contact. Ric Flair, you are a stereotypical fellow, says Moose, and Eswatini now. Up when I was born, it was Swaziland, says Caitlin. Now over the ball, Samoa. Chance for the turnover here, and they do manage to get it. I believe they will kick this one for the corner. Yes, you're correct, and it's definitely a real country, says Gugu there. And good luck, Samoa, says Tia. I will mention anyone who is new to this channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. We are only 43 subscribers away from the 32,500. So if you do want to help us get there, please do hit that subscribe button. In fact, we've got a TMO decision. So by the time we get to the end of this TMO decision, let's see whether or not we can get there. Only 40 more people. Looks like Chile being called over here by the referee. Need some new batteries. I just lost communication with my guys, says Paul Williams. So they just need a few more extra batteries to be put in. It's all good, man. We are missing out. New Zealand is a beautiful country, lots to see and experience. And also, we have got there, I think it's a fictional place like Albonia. There's Gareth. And good morning, brother. How are you, mate? I'm doing very well, says Bertie V. I'm doing very well, mate. And Gugu has said, Caitlin, where in South Africa do you live in? Says Gugu. That's a great work, a great bit of work from Jonathan Tamatine. Samoan Fuff de Klerk. Says Stephen, his hair is getting a little bit closer, isn't it? The only difference is, of course, the fact that he's shaving those sides. Sailor Lamb is dating my cousin. They live in France. Says Etta. Bit of a shame for Sailor Lamb. Looks like he's got some sort of shoulder injury here, so maybe not playing in the next couple of games for the Samoan. Look at the hello, bro. Says Asangi. Welcome in, mate, once again. And well, Kaden, I said Tor's surname was difficult to pronounce, but mine even more difficult. Trust me, says George. Now I'm curious. It looks like they are still getting the batteries put back in. And G, says Rick. And I was gutted, says Etta there. Yeah, hopefully it's nothing too serious, although he did have the ice pack and the sling on just after that first half. So hopefully he's going to be all right. Listening from Washington. Says Osangi. Right, we've just about had restarted time. And we are currently still a little bit away from that goal. So anyone who hasn't already, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We're back for every game that Samoa and Chile are playing throughout this Rugby World Cup as well, I should mention. Christian Liliofano now puts that ball into touch, about 7 meters out from the line, and another attacking opportunity here for Manu Samoa. They have scored 2 tries in the last about 7 minutes. Expected XP, expected points, they have got 3 every time they get to 5 meters out. That's a weird stat, isn't it? But I assume that means that more than likely they get themselves a try, and they are now getting extremely close. I've been told to use it once. They're on the try line there, and Samoa get themselves their 3rd in a row. Who that? Looks like Samamalolo? No, who that? He's a big boy. Fritz Lee. That's who it is. I was looking at him. Oh, he's done the John Cena. You can't see me. Right, Lee. Here we go. Samoa now really starting to wear away at this Chilean side. Random quiz for the South Africans. Does those shedding cause massive spikes in electricity use as you use your power, or as your power comes on? Everyone runs to get their cooking, washing, etc. done, says Yvonne. Straight out of Long Beach, says 865. And keep it up, Samoa, says George. And Michael here from South Africa, currently in Zimbabwe, listening, says Michael. How long till the end of the game? Still another 32 minutes remaining. Try and say my city name. I'm listening from GQ. Previously Port Elizabeth in South Africa. I know that Sean always lets me off with saying GQ for the pronunciation because I absolutely butchered it last time. Happy sat in an Irish pub in Oxford with a Samoan shirt on, says Fleshin. And bonus point incoming for sure. Yeah, now they are in a very good position. And I mentioned about with the fact that England got themselves their win in their first game up against Argentina, but didn't walk away with the bonus point. All that once hit the post for Leleafano, so unconverted. Be now 29 points to 10. Top 5 overrated national teams: 5 Wales, 4 England, 3 France, 2 New Zealand, 1 South Africa. By any chance, William, are you from Ireland? Just out of curiosity. Just guess. And hi, Neil, says Graham, and there as well. Now it's going to be kicked off high by Chile. They need to break this momentum because at the moment, just seems to be every time Samoa get a decent chance, they are now taking it, which is a lot more clinical, really, William. The two teams that have won the last 4 World Cups are overrated. I'm from England, says William. On there as well. 2 players offside. Tarilba is one, and I think Fernandez may have been the other. And double movement, says Gareth. And thanks for the commentary, bro. Watching is from Samoa. It's 3:22 a.m. Yeah, late night game for you guys in Samoa, that is for sure. Samoa's next games, I think there's a couple that are at a slightly better time for Samoa. 8 a.m. game, that'll be quite nice. Up against the Japanese, that is in 2 weeks' time. They've got Argentina next week. That is going to be quite a late night or early morning game on the Saturday. Few exciting games just around the corner. Thanks for the commentary. And definitely from Ireland, says George. As we have got there, I'm sure it's not just rugby you're hungry for up in the northern wilderness. Says Fleshin. That throw was debatably not straight from Summer Malolo, but it is going to be play on now for Samoa. Tamatine going across to Christian Leleafano, and once again the space starts to open up on the outside. Kicked him behind Duncan. Working its way towards the touchline. Chile somehow able to keep themselves in the field of play, although now it has gone out in the hands of Diego Escobar. Hamish, you're streaming the next game. Right, we are indeed. Next 2 games. Wales versus Portugal, as well as Ireland versus Tonga as well. This ain't even Manu's top team. They're playing with 14 and still winning huge. Good sign, says Duncan. Although they do have 15 on the field now. That yellow card did stop after 15 minutes. Thanks for your comms. Says Flanders there. And Durban, where are you joining from? Says Caitlin. The fact that Ireland choke every World Cup is why they overrated, says Timmy Smith. Nicely taken by Theo McFarland. Now 15 metres out from the try line. Wrestled down once more. And that's going to be the penalty. Double blow of the whistle, a little bit of push and shove afterwards. Can't afford to be doing that, Samoa. Can't be giving away the penalties. Go back, Jack. Do it again. Wheeling, turning round and round. But also, it's funny that 2 of the overrated teams have won the World Cup 3 times. South Africa and New Zealand, says Gugu. And going to hand it to Chile. Really testing Manu, good for rugby. Says, your name's going to test me, that is for sure. Fa'alatanga? Fa'alatanga, is that how I would pronounce that? Hopefully it's somewhere close. A great weekend, says Splendid, you too, mate. Hopefully you have been enjoying all the rugby that has been taking place. Still 5 more games coming this weekend, ladies and gentlemen. We are up to the stage now of only 37 games remaining in this Rugby World Cup. Kick for the touchline again. Nice one, bro. So hopefully it wasn't too bad. And we will see next week how good Ireland really are, Says George and Cape Town is in the house. Says Graham. Now 5 meters out from the line. Sama Malolo. Another line out throw here for Manu Samoa. If they can cross the try line now, they will walk away from this game with at least 1 point, more than likely, walking away with the 5. Now driving here very nicely off the back, and it's the bonus point try for the Samoans. It's going to be Sama Malolo. He does score the try. This is a completely different half than what we saw in the first, because we've already seen 3 tries in 12 minutes. The scoreline just shows that Samoa, their fitness is holding up at the moment for them. We have to imagine every Pacific Island nation, if their best players come home, they would feel like 3 teams per island, all contenders. We have got there. What was your score prediction, says Caitlin, for this game? I think I went with about 30-something to 17 in favour of the Samoans. But in my original prediction, before we knew the lineups and everything, I will quickly have a look. I think I went a little bit higher, though. And also, we have got there, what's happening? There's 685 here now. The game is starting to get a little bit more one-sided for the Samoans. No, there's 685%. So, I predicted for this game. Where is this game? 39-8 was my prediction for this game. So, I think I'm going to be a little bit too light. Fitness is key. That is why the All Blacks are the team to beat. And also, how's it from Josie, guys? Says Red Hell. Then once again, mate, hope you are doing extremely well. What day is it in England? Says Daniel, at the moment, you will be sitting on the 16th of September. I believe you're from England, though, aren't you, Daniel? So I'd like to think you would also know. Hamish, the South Africans should teach you Afrikaans. Says Andres. What happened to the Chilean supporters in the chat? They're still about. I've seen a few Chilean flags popping up throughout the chat as well. Now, Eric Tara Enery has made his way onto the field. That is to replace Jonathan Tamatena now that the Samoans have secured themselves their bonus point. Now it's about trying to increase their points differential as much as physically possible. Of course, they will want to have it that little bit higher than Japan. That then allows them a bit of a buffer. Looks like Samoa will beat Japan's 42 points to 12. There's Ric Flair. Oh, Chile taking it quickly in the form of Larenas. Now Ayarza looking for the offload. It was too risky, and it is a knock on now. Samoa just out from their own 22. Going to run onto the ball nicely. Now Leliofano goes off to Nigel. Awong kicked him behind. Awkward bouncing one for Ayaza, but he is back to be able to regather. Now, Chile actually have a little bit of a line break opportunity starting to open up. They managed to score themselves 1 try in this game so far, also getting themselves 2 in the game up against the Japanese. Nice pass, and here comes the big Lucia prop replacement. Now Tarilba going back across to Ayarza. Quick hands. Kalafulic. Tackled there on the halfway line. Oh, I think there might have been a bit of a high shot there. Chile asking for the penalty. The breakdown might have actually been the neck roll. Jonathan Tamatena giving a wave to the camera, having a bit of orange juice. Those vitamins back in. Good work, Kiwi lad, says Trio. Thank you very much. And also we have got there, it's safe to stretch the bench now. Says Tangata, and Argentina is angry about their loss to win the remaining 2 matches. So what are they going to do in the other game that they've got? They have still got 3 games to go. If they win 2, they may actually miss out on the overall qualifying. So yeah, they'll definitely want to win the 3 rather than the 2. We've got there, don't let in any more try Samoa or get any cards. Says Moose. Good job, boys, for Amalosi Manu. Says Princess here as well. But 36 points to 10 with 25 minutes remaining. Still plenty of time left on the clock here. Samoa and Sama Malolo now 22 metres out. Will have another line out throw. Sopawanga making his way onto the field. That is, they've gone with Tamua Manu as the player who is making his way off. So Christian Leliofano will stay out there, even though he is nursing a bit of an injury at the moment. Time says, yeah, at the moment it is sitting at 55 minutes and 15 seconds. There's still 25 minutes remaining. Chile managed to get themselves to steal in the line out now. Tarilba on the short side. Massive kick in behind there. Going down towards Samoa 22. And that kick has gone. And the Dutch come visit Samoa also, says Liam. I have wanted to go to Samoa for a while. So, I mean, at some stage in the future, it would be quite cool to be able to go. Where's Johan at? Is he still... This is Gareth. And why risk Christian with an injury? Sai says, Moose, yeah, it seems like a big risk to leave him out there because I think they've still got... Oh, they've got Ed Fidel, but Ed Fidel wouldn't really slot into where they have him either. Maybe Ed Fidel makes his way onto the field for Christian Lealiafano, and then they have a reshuffle in that back line. But I hand it to Chile no matter what. They're doing better than ever before, considering this is their first Rugby World Cup. Says Google, exactly right. I feel like Chile have really shown that in the future, they have got some decent potential. Lema Sopawanga receives the pass from Eritara Inri, now joining the line. It is Nigel Awong. Taken out. Nice and early, 6'4" he is. Must be annoying. The other commentators tonight, says Caitlin. He's like 40 years old. There's Mus now running forward once more. All is lost. Tarilba now breaking forward. He's grubbing it in behind. He's in a foot race for the corner. And the ball just rolls out. Doesn't quite get to it in time, Tarilba. I hope Ireland make the final. I kind of feel sorry for them all these years, says Sandra. In time for a Kit Kat. Oh, I'd absolutely love a Kit Kat chunky at the moment. I'll have to have one after the last live stream as a bit of a reward. Johan seems like a passionate Springbok fan, says George. And Samoa can't risk losing. That's why it says Sir Michael. With Argentina being good, Chileans would want to keep up. I think some players have a connection to Argentina, says Richard. Yeah, Chile actually recently played the Argentina XVM, which was a relatively close game between the two sides. Chilean halfback is a gun player. He is. I hope that he gets a big contract from an overseas side in the future. Now, Jordan Taufua making his way onto the field for Stephen Luatua, who, to be honest, hasn't had the best game. Overall, I thought he was going to be one of the keys in this match, but he just hasn't really lived up to that expectation. Who do you think was the most disappointing team this year then, says William? Good question. I guess it depends on how you look at like the comparison of disappointing, because some sides have had quite a few losses. They have been improving in their games. The likes of Australia, before this World Cup, they had 5 losses in a row under Eddie Jones, but they've won their first game of the Rugby World Cup, so I feel like they'll be slightly happy in some regards. And great, now I want a Kit Kat, says Yvonne there. And Halloween is coming in the US soon for candy, says Robert. Now, rolling maul. In fact, sorry, that was a scrum. That's how quickly it all popped up in the front rows. Kicked him behind. Now Ayaza at the back for Chile, looking to break through, and he does get through the tackle attempt of Danny Tuala, dragged down by Jordan Taufua in the end. I'm going to be late to church tomorrow, says Jason. And the second ever test was played in South Africa in the town of Port Elizabeth in 1883 between England and South Africa. Says Graham there, flick on the inside from Tarilba. It's a hospital pass, though. His teammate got nailed in the shot. It's a knock on from Chile. And now Samoa will have themselves another scrum feed. And on South Africans, not knowing what it is hilarious, says Gugu. And Stephen stays off the field. Or stay off the field, nothing, but just making numbers and looking depressed, says 685. Who said Ireland has the same amount of players as New Zealand? Ireland have 95,000, New Zealand 160,000. Good maths. Don't forget all the Irish in New Zealand building country for you. Says if. Did someone say something about them? Did they? I didn't see that one, unfortunately. I would go back through, but there are a lot of messages in there as well. And Samoa needs to now control the game. No more helter-skelter stuff. Time to close out the game, says Moose, and Kit Kat, says FW. Good old Kit Kat chunky. That's a penalty to Chile now. Popping up on this far side, or in fact the near side, was Jordan Lay. You're warned in the first half. Jordan Lay's going, I wasn't here in the first half. I'd say the dark horses are Italy, Argentina, and possibly Japan, says Neil. No jacket is in England, says Moonstone. Time check, please. Currently, it is 59 and a half minutes through this game. So still 20 minutes, just a little bit over that remaining. Hashtag Kit Kat, says George there. Yeah. Kit Kats are absolutely phenomenal, aren't they? I feel like we should, if we ever got sponsored by Kit Kat, that would be a happy day. And I think the French and British international schools in Buenos Aires, says Richard. How big is the thing of a thing is the Shire in New Zealand? I'm probably the wrong person to ask. I'm not too sure what that is. So it's not big for me, but there might be other things. Isn't Shire like a region? No, no, that's like Lancashire and whatnot. Shire, is it Shire rather than Shire? Sorry, at best it's a Kit Kat peanut butter chunky. Says Caitlin. I don't think I've had the Kit Kat one or the peanut butter one. I think I've had the cookies and cream and the caramel one, but not the peanut butter. I might have to give that a try. From The Hobbit, says Stephen. Yes, the Kiwi movie that I have not seen. I'm probably going to get deported at some stage for not seeing Lord of the Rings or any other Kiwi classics. Contact Nestle and ask for a Kit Kat sponsorship, says Andrew. Now to the right hand side for Chile. Fernandez tries to go back to Ayaza, but it doesn't quite link up the way that they would have liked. And now fullback versus fullback finds his offload away though. Vedra manages to dodge a massive Samoan hit that was coming in. Ayaza again, he's been much more involved in the second 40 minutes compared to the first. What sport do you like more, rugby or cricket? Kiwi lad? I'll go rugby. I enjoy playing cricket more, mainly because I feel like I go slightly better at it in rugby. Got peanut butter M&Ms now, says Robert. South Africa has a popcorn Kit Kat chunky. Jeez, a bit fancy, isn't it? Oh, nice kick from Fernandez. Playing the territory game, reckon Cam Roygard give the start for the big games ahead of Nuggy. I don't know about the start, but they'll probably have him coming off the bench rather than Finley Christie, which is the right decision because Christie has been pretty rough throughout 2023. An American rated New Zealand, the second best country to visit besides England. Says Spider Mickey. It's quite nice here. We've got some hills, some grass, animals. That's about it. That's about all there is in my town, to be fair. We have like nothing here overall. And Go Samoa, says Tam. And I also know hobbits in New Zealand, only orcs ride motorbikes. We leather the jackets, says Sir Michael. Now we have got ourselves a drink break in the second half due to a little bit of the hotter temperatures. It does mean that they will need the water breaks, probably in all three of the games that are taking place today. Roygard over the Ginger. Please no more Finley as the All Blacks halfback, says Mus. Have you ever had pizza, Hamish? I have had a pizza before, yes. It was all right. I've had it multiple times. And later, mate, thanks for the commentary. Got to go to bed, says Jason there as well. Hamish is Springboks versus all best rivalry ever, says George. It's certainly right up there in terms of the rugby world, that rivalry side of things. It's also one that, depending on who you talk to, some fans absolutely love it. They absolutely respect that rivalry. Of course, on both sides, there are the fans who just are, I guess, annoyances in that regard. But yeah, a lot of the fans respect those two sides going head to head and absolutely love when it does take place. Imagine having to Google who played the first rugby international. Mind you, I'm English, so I guess it's common knowledge for an Englishman and a Scot. Says Akaris. Because we have got the Samoa can beat Japan's 42-12, would help them later on, definitely. And if they can get their points differential up even more so, round about maybe 15 points ahead of Japan, it could be absolutely massive. Are you an AI, these questions? Says Caitlin. And I just like being silly sometimes, says Jack. Trying to make things more funny, says Jack. You could have said I could have been telling some jokes. I got a few up the sleeve. Some good, some not so good. That's a penalty to Chile in the breakdown. We have got there. No need to be salty, guys, says Brian. I would have some does better Japan's points difference. But I felt Chile will score again after Samoa goes to sleep. We have got there. Your time hasn't moved. Why? Says G13. There we go. It has now gone up, but it is a little bit too quick. It's up to 62 minutes at the moment. And we kicked into touch. Oh, we're having a look at something on the TMO here. That is concerning. Red 21. There's direct contact to the head. Baniaki has been there for 9 years. Not really a poaching, says Richard. Ignacio Silva might be in trouble. What sport do you like the most? Rugby or cricket? With that, like I said, rugby would be the choice, I would say, but we do cover both on the channel. If you're going to compare the scoreboard, you got to compare the performance too. Here's audio check. Oh, is that it? Number 20, Escobar. Yeah, well, he gets him on the chin, doesn't he? It meets the yellow card threshold. I don't think this will be upgraded to a red, but it's at least going to be the yellow. And Rosa safely on the goddamn door, says Caitlin. And most definitely rugby, says Graham. And imagine a Samoan with an Irish accent, says Sir Michael. Hopefully you can visit South Africa sometime soon, says Di. It would be absolutely awesome to visit South Africa. The thing is, we've got so many of you guys in South Africa as well who have said if I was ever there, I've got to go to one of the braais and whatnot. So I feel like I would probably have to do some sort of video series how I go visit subscribers and then we have a braai and then I don't know whether or not I would judge them in terms of a 1 to 10 just because if I gave anything less than a 9 they might get very upset, but it could be a fun series to do on the channel one day, going to South Africa and then trying a hyper braai as well as just going to stadiums, enjoying the games and yeah, hanging out with our South African viewers. Now, it's going to be Nigel Awa run across. Ooh, spin there. That was very high pitched. Danny Tuala doing well to spin out of that challenge. Although it looks like he's got cramp. That's a worse feeling. Well, not the worst feeling. I think I prefer cramp than a kick in the balls, but it's just me. Some people are into that. To the left-hand side now, Lema Supawanga. Putting it in behind wide, cut out pass there. Looked like it may have drifted flat. Taleni Su, that is definitely forward. And it's a knock-on as well from the Samoan, the South African Brightor. Decent content, says Sebastian. Easily English, says Richard. And also, a little bit of argy-bargy. Push and shove. I could have guessed that it was Matthias Ditas. He is one of those players who definitely get into the face of the opposition. We have to do one big braai, says Jacqueline. And yes, says Caitlin there. Time check says Ja. At the moment, it is sitting at 63 and a half minutes. Again, few mistakes because they're tired. I need 30 points, boys, says Bram. So is that 30 points difference between them, Bram, or is it over 30 points between them? A bit of a late shot there from Theo McFarland. South Africa can be awesome sometimes, especially when braaiing and watching rugby with your mates. Says George. You're welcome to come to Cayman, says Yvonne. Drink water, with that. I will have to, won't I? I'm just talking about, I think they're talking about Ed Fidel. Oh no, it might actually be, sorry, Theo McFarlane. They're saying that he couldn't afford a rugby ball when he was younger, so they got an empty Pepsi bottle, stuffed it with banana leaves, and that is how they played their rugby when they were younger. There were only 2 good matches this weekend, and they are. Says Richard, I would assume. Oh, is this a trick question? Because Fiji, Australia, definitely one of the good matches of this weekend, I would say. The other side of things is whether or not you are talking Japan, England, because of the closeness that the game could be, or are you talking South Africa, Romania, because we're seeing quite a different looking lineup for the Springboks. Water is so underrated, says George. Yeah, I absolutely love this stuff, Without it, you're dead, You're going to check something else here. This game has been very long. Normally, full time would be by now, but they have had a lot of problems. And water is the most important resource on the planet, says Moose. Well, they're checking whether or not it was a neck roll. And let's go, Manu, says Sky. And Eritara Inery. That's a legal clean out. Got him around the body and then it slipped to the side. They want another angle. The TMO's most subscribers are from which country, mate? Says red. I believe the most for us is actually from South Africa, followed by probably New Zealand and then Fiji. I think will be the other place that we've got to speed up the game. Officials stop trying to watch everything under the microscope, says Musk. Yeah, this game has taken way too long compared to how long it should have taken. 4 scrum halves with 3 hookers should be interesting, says George. So yeah, Eric Tarineri, he gets him initially under the arms. I think that's completely fine. I don't think there's much in that at all. They're giving it as a penalty, though. And all good matches. So Japan versus England versus Japan, Australia versus Fiji. Says Richard. And Hydration Nation. Says Sebastian there. Oh, so because the player's weight has made him collapse, he's dropped the weight down on the top half. It's going to become a yellow card against Eritara Inori now. This is the first game that the TMO has disrupted far too much. And it did slightly come in for Chile versus Japan. That was a very long game. But the fact that we've still got 17 minutes to go in this game, like that is pretty bad timing-wise. Disagree on the yellow, says Richard. So Eritara Inori will now make his way off the field for 10 minutes. It wasn't even a penalty. Imagine penalising a scrum half for a ruck clearance. His Musa Samoa going to smash, says David there. The penalty was enough, says Richard, and great no scrum half, says Sir Michael. Yep, 10 minutes. Both sides actually do have yellows that could turn into reds here. I'd like to think that neither of them would be upgraded. Eritara Inori just ended up getting someone with an arm around his neck on the sideline. I think one of his teammates were going to choke him out. Just for fun, as you do. Now, 16 minutes remaining in this game, ladies and gentlemen. If we can get through the rest of this contest without any more yellows, without any more really long TMO decisions, I would be a very happy boy. It will remain a yellow card for Escobar. Change the dynamics by the second one. I've never seen this much debate amongst officials. Interesting. Here's the Cabbage Patch. Oh, now they're going. Sorry to slow it down, says Paul. Well, you've done that all game. But it's going to stay as a yellow card. I feel like the Chileans didn't even realise they had 14 on the field. They were just playing. Vast majority of Springbok fans who they fear the most in rugby is definitely the All Blacks, says George. And can you explain again why that's a yellow? So the reasoning that they said behind it wasn't so much as where he wrapped them in terms of that clean out, but it's because he forced his weight down on top of the player who was sprawled out. So because of that, they're saying that the damage that he's trying to inflict with the knees and whatnot of the player who's locked over the ball, you're not allowed to put downwards pressure on them. You're allowed to roll them to the side as long as it's not around the neck. But yeah, you're not allowed to put downwards top pressure on them. And he did get injured from it. So that is why it becomes a yellow card. That's the reasoning they said. I think would have been plenty. Now around the side of a breakdown, Chile themselves another attacking chance. Oh no, they've lost the ball in the breakdown now. Ed Fidel passes it across, knock on there from Samoa. I believe that was Fritz Lee who put it down. ABs have looked the best despite the loss in the Southern Hemisphere. Then Australia, South Africa, Fiji. There's Richard there. I don't know about that. I think I'd have South Africa at the top at the moment because up against Scotland, yes, they only scored the 2 tries, but their tactical kicking was a lot better in that game up against Scotland. Still showing moments of that physicality. Hope it finishes soon. Have to have my dinner and I'm starving, says Brian. I'll be honest, I'm starting to get a bit peckish as well. I thought this game was going to be over by now. So I was going to go away and eat some chicken tenders. But I have to wait just a little bit longer. Wait, what's happening now? Oh, okay. We've got the next yellow card is going to stay as a yellow. Smells like BS to me, to be honest, says Fiji Islander. Okay, Paul Williams ignoring Talini Su. Did you just hear my stomach rumbling? I don't know whether or not my microphone would have picked it up, but it was quite loud. Any yellows yet, says FW? Absolutely. We have added, I think, 4 now in this game or somewhere around there. Maybe 3, actually. For it. Does that mean players have to be extra careful now because of the excessive yellow and red cards? That does not seem like a fun way to play, says Gugu. Too many yellows already, says Moose. Question, who do the All Blacks fear most? Definitely not Romania, says Graham. No, I think they'd enjoy a game up against Romania. The cards are getting pathetic. A little tap and you get sent off now. World Rugby, you suck. Clowns, says Ric Flair. I should have said that in Ric Flair's voice, didn't I? Now advantage, this time to Chile. Scrum getting wheeled around by the Samoans. How much it changed from 80s rugby, says Mikhail. Yeah, even the work in the breakdown. Like in the old days, if the ball was going to be turned over in the breakdown, or you never used to get not releasing penalty, if you hung on to that ball in the breakdown and your team lost that breakdown, you were getting stomped on, you were getting ruck marks all up your back. And that was the thing that made you let the ball go. Thanks for the commentary. I'll be back for the Island game, says George. Yeah, we've also got that game between Wales and Portugal just around the corner as well, ladies and gentlemen. So if you are new, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. 5 meters out now. It will be the starting two. Thomas Discilient, 5 meters from the line. Woo, says Ric Flair. 3 meters now. It's gone down. I think that ball's going to be stuck in there by Samoa. Yes, it is. And now Samoa will have themselves a scrum feed. Samoa, on ref vibes from Fiji versus Wales game, says FW. And Islanders in 4 hours, says Richard. They certainly are. And we will be covering that one on the channel as well. Nature Boy is in the house. Woo! Says Ric Flair. Escobar still got 5 minutes remaining of his yellow. Tonga tough, says AJS. They're a very, very tough side. But it's just whether or not with the fact that they haven't played in the last few weeks, it may hurt them a little. Saw how long it took Samoa to find their rhythm, even with just missing last week and the week prior. And we have got there who's next, Wales. So yeah, Wales are going to be taking on Portugal in the next game that has taken place. But Fiji had more than enough chances to win that game, says Fiji Islander. And refs have been brutal this World Cup. I'm going to jump off for some food for the next game. Thanks again for the great commentary and banter on here. Says Caitlin, thank you very much for being here. And yeah, look forward to seeing you on Portugal versus Wales. That game, I think it's going to be full of banter because I think it's probably the game of the weekend. It sounds harsh to say, but it's probably the one that people hear about the least in terms of the result. I'm looking forward to seeing Portugal in action, though, for the first time. When's Tonga's game? It is going to be at 7 a.m. New Zealand time. So I think that will be 8 a.m. in Tonga, if I'm not wrong. And what time is the next game? It does start at 3:45, so around 50 minutes time. So we're sticking with they're all good games, says Richard. And there's I feel like every game in the Rugby World Cup, though, it's got its own unique parts. Why did Ethan de Groot get a red card? Because he made a dumb tackle, is the best way of describing it. If you're going to be in that scenario of winning a game by so much, you don't need to tackle a guy around his head. Woo, says Caitlin. I finally started playing Assassin's Creed Black Flag, says Amelia. Out nicely slapped away for Samoa Lemasopawanga. Going off to Sama Malolo, who has been able to score himself a try already. But Samoa, they have been halted in terms of that try-scoring momentum. Nearly 3 a.m. and I'm getting peckish too. There's Ric Flair. Watching all these players use up a whole heap of energy just makes you hungry, doesn't it? Leofano puts it high. Oh, not a clean take there from Galafulich, unfortunately. And now Samoa will have themselves a ball on the halfway line. The ref is the 16th man on the day, according to his bias, says Graham. Is that bias towards Samoa or bias towards Chile in this case, Graham? So know that Samoa, they've received more yellow cards. Chile have been penalised more. So it's a tricky one. Check the score, mate. There's Johan. It is still 36 points to 10 after the 70 minutes in this fixture. Namibia is never going to win a World Cup, says AJS. To be fair, there's a lot of teams that are better than Namibia who are yet to get themselves a World Cup under their belt. We've got to look at the likes of the world number one at the moment on the rankings rather than the world number about 22nd. I'll get stick for this, but the card sensitivity actually adds more dimension to the fan experience. Don't like that players get pinged. It makes it more interesting in a way, says Red Hell. Currently eating mac and cheese, so I'm good. Says a Sefa with the woo on the end as well. And remains a yellow for Enery. It does indeed. So both of the yellow cards that were given recently are staying as yellows. No advantage now in favor of the Samoans. Now short pass. Oh, that's a huge hit. Massive shot coming in on Christian Leliafano. That is the risk of leaving him on the field here. He has been lined up by Domingo Saavedra, who's driven his whole body through. This was just a perfectly timed shot. Saw him early and nailed the shot. I guess Samoa, the most yellow cards already in the tourney. It was there from Liam. The ref is bad with this yellow cards. What? There's a yellow card now for Chile. What did he do? I didn't even know he was involved in the play. Got a yellow card for his haircut alone. It is a shocker. What did he do? Nostroza, he's been on the field for 2 seconds. The accumulation of yellow cards, or sorry, of penalties. So he did nothing. He gave away the last penalty for something, and now he's going over to join his teammate in the yellow card bin. Samoa kicking for the corner now. 5 meters out from the line. He crushed the guy, says Richard. And more cards. Geez, he's headbutting that water bottle. I wouldn't want to be that water. I feel like now the man's just rubbing his head with a towel. Yellow card for his ear, says a Sifu. Okay, so it's a not rolling penalty. Okay, Samoa penalised there again. So yeah, not rolling away. Although they haven't been penalised for not rolling away in a pretty long time. And the fact that it's one of the guys who's just made his way onto the field, I feel like he's pretty unlucky to be the man who does get subbed off. And he probably won't be making his way back out onto the field for the rest of this game now. So one of the Chilean players about to make his way back out there. And the ref also needed a yellow card for himself too, says a Sungy. And what's that for? So yeah, it was for not rolling away on the breakdown, but accumulating from the other penalties that they have given away. Big run from Nigel. Side of the breakdown with the pick and go. Theo McFarlane, short ball from, I believe that was the number 18, Brian Aluamile. Chile almost win themselves the penalty. They certainly do. Bloody Kiwi left Kiwi ref shocker mate says Blues name, and bloody Kiwi ref says Sebastian in there as well. And time for Sopawonga to come in, says Ula. Now, Chile close to being back to 14 men on the field. A lot of distance on that kick for Chile. Brilliant kick downfield. Hey, he's a bit whistle happy. Says Richard and hey, mate. Hey, do you know where this ref is from? Says a Sungy. I do. He is from New Zealand. Name is Paul Williams alongside James Dolman as one of his assistant referees. And I think, I don't know, was Angus Gardner there as well, maybe? Anyone who is new to the channel, I should mention, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. We are 25 away from the goal that we have by the end of this live stream. So if you haven't already, please do hit that subscribe button. It's completely free and you will get access to the channel in terms of those notifications, knowing exactly when we do go live. Chile playing better than the other 13, says audio check. And now, Ayaza, the boot from inside of his 22. Nicely taken by Christian Leliafano, who was once again had a massive shot put on him. Sopawonga has to play half. That is due to Iritara Enery with his yellow card. Another knock on. This time Theo McFarland unable to hang on to it. A review by who? It's like saying it's hard because the police investigate themselves, says Moose. And also there, Aussies and the Kiwis, says Richard. And Argentina deserved to lose. They were shocking, says Yvonne. And yeah, I feel like them having the week off might actually be quite handy for them. Do you think the total points will be over 52.5? Because I bet money on it that it will, says Boogie. We've got 46 at the moment. I think the unfortunate thing you've got, no, there would be one more converted try, wouldn't it? So you've got a little bit of a chance, I would say. I honestly hope Samoa lose. They're playing like amateurs. Very frustrating, says the Kiwi for life. And also, hey man, says Jake. Welcome in, Jake. Hope you are keeping well. Hope you're excited for the next two games that we have got coming up, Portugal versus Wales, as well as the match that is taking place between Ireland and Tonga just a little bit later on. And his scores are technically correct, but he should get a good review. But he's bleeped with the flow. Says Richard. Now, Tarilba still playing. He's had a relatively long game here for Chile. In fact, no, my apologies. He has been subbed. That is not Tarilba. Instead, now Silva going for the offload, gets it away. Ducelian. Now Fernandez, nice step from him. Even in this game, he's still looking like a star up against it. Same with Tarilba. Now back across to the right. Segrin went for the risky offload. It does go backwards, so it's going to be a new advantage in favour of Chile. The whistle has been blown. Right, they weren't on the mark. Ben O'Keefe, not Ben O'Keefe, Paul Williams does bring them back. This game has been quite a long one, ladies and gentlemen. So what I'm quickly going to do is I'm going to have to adjust my next live stream start time because we are doing a post-match review of this game straight after this one does take place. So hopefully we will be able to fit that in just in time alongside having a bit of a snack. But 75 minutes through, now, Chile will kick this one for the corner, but it is his fault or sloppy play ladder. There's Richard. And also, we've got there the island sides have much more chance of winning the League World Cup than the Rugby World Cup, says Ric Flair. And also, the French had a tight game against Uruguay. Says AJ, yes, yeah, Uruguay actually really impressed a lot of people. And thoughts on your rivalry with 2 Cents Hamish? It does not exist, no. I've talked to Mark quite a bit. And he's been on the channel before. So I feel like if there was a rivalry, that would be a weird way of competing in said rivalry by having him on the channel. I do what you need to. Says Gus there. And also Eden Live, we don't mind, says, yeah, no, there should be time in between the live stream. While I'm editing, I'll be able to eat a chicken tender or two. Be all ready for the next one. 4 minutes remaining. Still 5 minutes remaining on the yellow card. So I don't think we'll see it in Nostroza again throughout this game. Chile 30 meters out from the Samoan line. And I have to say, Samoa, they scored a lot of tries early on in the second half, which was good news because it did allow them to get that bonus point. But then from there, has completely slowed down. I'm going to try and follow your sleep schedule, says Jack. Well, as long as you followed the one for this weekend rather than last weekend. Last weekend, I think I managed about 10 hours sleep across 3 days. And joined again, how many yellows, says Mark? I think we're up to about 5 or 6 now in this game. It's going to be the penalty to Samoa in the breakdown. It's just been a really scrappy game overall. But Samoa, they walk away with the 5 points available. Chile fans not happy whatsoever. Come on, Manu says a Sungi, and how much time is left? Only another 3 minutes remaining on the clock for this game now. So Segrin asking about something, and Paul Williams just telling him no. Come on, Chile, 1 score from the Super Brew. 6 yellow cards is insane. I want to be professionals, go hard, play hard. Those backs are a lot of preparation and just play badly, says Ulla. And also, we have got there, you might have to embrace the art of coffee drinking, says Sebastian there. Although with the Northern Hemisphere time zone I'm on at the moment, it's not as bad, I don't think. I'm going golfing after the 3rd game today with George, his brother, and Daniel, so that will be a lot of fun. Okay, we've got another stoppage. It's going to be for the blood bin. Let's go, please, says Paul Williams. Trying to keep this game flowing and tough, or due to a tough defeat, Argentina will play like the power it is in the remaining games. And I had Samoa by 18. Shouldn't underestimate them, says AJS. Yeah, my score prediction for this game was 39 points to 8. So I'm not a mile off if it stays like this, which would be 2 games in a row that I've almost got correct. I predicted 72-3 in the game between Namibia and New Zealand, and it was 71 points to 3. Well done, Chile. They certainly deserve to be at the World Cup. I'm looking forward to watching them in 2028, the next World Cup. Here's Kevin. Another knock on from Chile here, though. 42 minutes remaining. I love welcoming South American rugby playing nations to the game. This lets me know the future and the development. The game is healthy. Do you agree, says Graham? Yeah, I think that these underdog sides in the World Cup have been able to show up and have gone relatively decently throughout some of their performances. Rugby Union is turning into American gridiron. Stoppages. There's definitely this game. This game so far has taken 2 hours and 4 minutes. Now, an average rugby game that is slightly more drawn out will take an hour and 50 minutes. So we've had an extra 15 minutes on top of that for this game, and we've still got 2 minutes remaining. Now, Eritara Inari, like they've just said the last point was scored in the 53rd minute. On down in the front. Again, at scrum time. Now, Taufua goes off to Inari. Out now to Nigel Wong. On this near side, find the offload away to Eritana Inari, who now moves to only 10 metres out from the try line. Samoa looking to get themselves the last points of the game. Player off feet penalty against Chile. Now Jordan Taufua finds the offload away. Here comes Samoa Malolo. Has he got over the try line? He certainly has, and that will be his second in the match for the Samoans. I think I jinxed it by saying we hadn't had any points in a while. Now we have just seen another one for Samoa Malolo. If I was going to go golfing after a third game here, it'll be midnight golfing, says Brian. It's not a given that Chile will be at the next World Cup unless they finish at least third. They have to qualify again, says Moose. We've got another TMO decision. Potential knock on. This will be going upstairs. And this will take another few minutes to be able to sort out more than likely. Right. Samoa Malolo, he loses the ball before the line. It's no try for Samoa Malolo, and the tries that they had will still stay the same. Infield. Right, they were playing an advantage already, always the same last 10 minutes. Here's Yvonne. We have got there, don't City for me, Chile. Portugal versus Wales prediction says AJS. I did have it on my sheet, although I don't have it open at the moment. But on that next live stream, we'll let you know exactly what the score prediction was when those two sides go head to head. 30 seconds remaining. Samoa, one last chance here. Stan Timo needs to go. Says Moose. And honest opinion on Razor excited. I'm interested, I think is the better way of describing it. You have the wrong score up, says Richard. The good news is it will adjust itself in a very short moment. There we go. Has adjusted back, although it might have to add those points back on, depending on how this line out goes. Samoa Malolo with the low. The throw, isn't it full time? Not quite. Only 13 seconds remaining now in regular time. Now, rolling more this time for Samoa. Jordan Taufua. Believe they've still got this one. They're over this time, Samoa Malolo, so that gets added straight back. Malolo does get that second try. That one cannot be denied. And Samoa, this is interesting because they will finish, if they get this kick over, they will finish with just a little bit of a higher points differential. In fact, they already are sitting higher points differential than the game between Chile and Japan. It's still the same guy that scored again. Yeah, I should just waited a little bit longer, shouldn't I? Also, I thought Samoa would beat the 42-12 Japan got. Says Ric Flair. And also, let's go Samoa. And should have gone to the rolling ball in the first half, says Mus. And also, vamos, says Blues Nate. Samoa Malolo crossing the line twice in this game. Lining up this kick now is Lema Sopawanga. The guy with the bet on points was nervous, says Richard. Yeah, he's got it in the end because that kick has gone over from Sopawanga. That will be the end time score, ladies and gentlemen. 43 points to 10. The Samoans get themselves their first victory of this Rugby World Cup. But I do thank you all very much for tuning in. We will be back for that next live stream in only 30 minutes time between Wales and Portugal. So be sure to check that out. But thank you all very much for tuning in. And I will see you all for the next one.